You're cute
We're
when
already
you're
on. Let's
angry.
start. All right, we are back. It's part three. Before anyone comments that the strikers characters I had to add on vanished, I'm not resetting it every time I wake up. It's annoying and boring, and we're moving on. Okay, P3 today.
Yeah.
If it feels like I'm rushing through this, I'm not. I'm just kind of. Energy will increase as we go. Cracks every single
Yeah.
knuckle independently. All right, so just feeling a bit better. Feeling a bit better. Here we go. Protagonist, male protagonist, that is.
That's literally
I
the same place. I ranked all the
yeah
Yeah.
other ones.
I like him.
yeah
He's so committed to the emo
Diego.
aesthetic that I have to respect him. But
Yeah.
he's just so committed to the emo aesthetic. Um, but yeah, I do want to comment on he's the only protagonist where the name confusion still exists. Like everyone else, they have had two names. Like both Joker and P4 protagonist have had two names from different sources, but like it's been objectively there's one name now. Right, like you still get some people who push back with the P5 protagonist. We want to call him Akira. Well, that's not his name. I'm sorry. you know, every official source has decided that his name is Ren, and that's the end of it. And then there's no pushback with the P4 protagonist anymore. It's just like, yeah, his name is you. That's the end of it. Um, and to be
I
fair,
don't even know other than you, to be honest.
well, you speak of like Soji Seta or something. I think that was the manga again, because the
That
manga is always wrong. People are
right.
like,
Weird.
oh, well, the manga said this. Well, yeah, when has the manga ever been right? Literally every time the manga tries to create something as canon, it's proven wrong. So maybe we should stop trusting it. Anyway, back to P3 protagonist. Basically, everyone calls him Makoto, but I don't like that name because that's Makoto's name.
Yeah,
So like,
To
if
especially
me,
if
you
you
just
call him
funny.
Yuki.
yeah, so like if you use the traditional advantage of the manga is fucking wrong, so trust everything that isn't the manga, his name is probably Makoto Yuki, but I still call him Minato because that means he and Makoto don't have the same name.
Yeah,
To be fair, it is a very common name.
No, I know it is, but
it
like,
is.
if this is a
Yeah.
common name doesn't work
Yeah.
when it's a fucking video game. They pick their names, okay? Like,
Yeah,
but yeah,
Oh
so
well.
like personally, I call him Minato. So like, just that's sort of a thing for the viewers. You're gonna notice that as we talk about some of the other characters. That's just what I call him. So I guess we'll just put him in C tier with the other protagonists and move on because it's protagonist and
Yeah.
he doesn't even have the advantage Narukami has. Really, he doesn't even talk. He doesn't show up in arena because, believe it or not, he's dead as a door. I didn't even realize that doornail at the time. I didn't realize that until I said it.
Nice.
great.
It's the same with
I assume
MC,
we're
really.
putting Mina. Yeah,
Yeah, hers even
I
weirder because she
assume we're
doesn't
putting
show up.
Mina.
Yeah, she doesn't even show up in supplemental material, so she doesn't even have like it's Kotane in it.
Well, she also has two names. I tend to go with Minako
Where's that from?
since it. I don't remember,
Must be
but
the
I just
manga.
know
I know
both of
Minato is
them.
from the manga, so it must be from the manga. But that sounds fake.
Maybe.
Like that sounds like someone took the existing name and did a crappy online version of it, like a gender bend with it. It sounds awful. Whereas Kotane is a cool name.
I don't know. I prefer Minako,
Mm,
but it's not like it matters. They're
it
just
just
two
sounds a bit
names.
dumb to me. Anyway, but either way, well, like there's nothing you can talk about with her because any comments you make about are about the actual playthrough, which is not a comment on her character. So
Yeah.
okay, we
Uh,
start. Is
I,
Junpei or Yukari first? It's
I,
Yukari.
I do I do think just very quickly the little I know about her is that like she is actually different enough to him that I do find it interesting. Like while he's all like the depression and emo and gloomy, she is all positive and cheerful and stuff, which I do
Outwardly.
find interesting.
I do feel it's more of an outward thing, but that is clever.
Yeah.
Like, I do want to compliment,
Maybe, but
like, as much as Portable is a hot fucking mess, I appreciate them sticking to it and not just, like, changing the names, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
they rewrote almost
I
the
just gotta
entire game.
yeah, I just gotta appreciate that in a game like Persona 3, one of the protagonists it is like pretty cheerful
Yeah,
despite the focus of the game being that.
Yeah.
I just think I thought audio was interesting,
Well,
but
no, I do mean I do think it speaks to the game's credit how much they actually committed to the FMC route, making it actually different. Like, it does feel like you're a different character going through the same events, but they're affected differently because they think differently. So even though like
yeah,
all the same flags are hit, it feels it has a different air to it, and I like that.
yeah, it's fresh.
Obviously there's the obvious bit with the different social links.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
not including the new characters and some of the main characters now having social links, like I just think it's impressive how much they committed to it overall.
Yeah.
You also
Like,
get to see some of the scenes from like the opposite's perspective.
Hmm?
Like when they're separated into like gender baths, for
yeah,
example,
stuff
and
like
the
that.
boys go
You
and
just get to
sneak up
see
on
more
them.
scenes, and obviously, I also
Yeah.
I just really like it, and we'll talk about it when we get to Junpei. But some of the stuff I have seen from the FMC playthrough is just how different Junpei is in it, and I really want to comment on it when we get to him. But we have to talk about Yukari first.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing with
Yeah.
Yukari is, I've heard from a lot of people that played the original that she's a fucking dick in it. But obviously, because I played Reload first, as you'd know if you watched the first two videos, um,
Yeah.
I've heard from a lot of people that she's significantly blunted in Reload, in both good ways and bad ways. So like they did cut out a lot of her funniest lines, and also the new vocal delivery. But in general, she's a lot more tolerable in it overall, even if it did lead to some of her funniest lines getting cut out.
It might be because I played the female MC, but she was never a dick for me.
Yeah, she's much
Personally.
blunted in that as well. Like, if we had to
Yeah.
rank her on
I
niceness scale from huge dickhead to really nice, it goes original male playthrough, reload, female playthrough.
Right.
But like,
yeah. I mean, I I watched like uh, back when I watched a Persona 3 playthrough. As obviously, EP3 Reload still wasn't around,
mm,
and I can't
yeah, yeah,
comment on the female route much. But as as you people may know, am a mean girl enjoyer. So she
only
didn't
slightly.
even like, yeah, she didn't even for a second bother me. Like she just, yeah, she's cool. She's cool. She's funny
Yeah,
sometimes.
very much. But I
She
also
will.
see why it would be a big whiplash from people coming from P5 and especially P4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, the closest to an arsehole you get in P5's female cast is Makoto, and even then, it's only kind of. And I don't think any of the P4 cast really qualify as an arsehole, despite Chie's occasionally questionable actions.
She's just
So,
a bit fighty, a bit feisty.
no, I mean more like she can be casually degrading at times, but she carries it with a different air than with Yukari,
Uh,
where it more feels like she kind of doesn't understand how rude she's being, whereas with Yukari, she very much understands how rude she's being. And again, like
yeah,
Hikari's
that,
super sassy.
I've seen some scene comparisons between the original and Reload, and I think the major difference is the vocal performance. Because obviously, for people that didn't know, going into Reload, they recasted the entire main cast. I think the only voiced character from the original P3 that keeps their original voice is Elizabeth. Though
Yeah,
an
I think
interesting fact to note is that all of the original voices for C's actually voice confidants in the game, so they're all still in the game. Which is something they didn't have to do, but I like. Um, and like,
yeah,
I think the new cast is better overall. But like, I do think like there is one comparison that did kind of bother me, which is the delivery of Yukari's most famous line, which is the Stupe thing near the start of the game.
yeah,
Where in the original she spits it like Junpei killed her fucking dog, whereas in Reload, while it sounds more realistic, like it sounds more like how people as like both close and not close as they actually are would say it. It's also not as clippable.
yeah,
Like it's nowhere near as clippable.
yeah. No, I feel that.
And that's the thing I never really understood about Yukari and Junpei's relationship is they supposedly don't really know each other before the start of the game. They're like acquainted with each other because they were in class for a year, but that's about it.
Mm.
Whereas they act as if they've been like lifelong rivals who really don't like each other, even though they've supposedly never even really met. obviously they cool off throughout the
Uh,
game, but like in the early parts
Yeah.
of the game when she's really at his throat and he can occasionally be really nasty to her, which to be fair is provoked. Like I said, she goes over the line more than once, which to be fair is
Yeah.
called out in the game. I want to point out it's called out in the game, so it's not like a flaw.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's a bit.
Mm.
I think at one point they were supposed to have been friends longer, or like have known each other longer. I think like that was changed at some point because their dynamic reads more like they've known each other their whole lives and have never really got along.
Yeah. I think I think that's probably like an oversight.
Yeah, like I think maybe in one draft at some point they were supposed to have been like again known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Whereas it was
Be-
changed to no, they've basically just met.
Yeah, because like to be honest, I didn't even realize that they just met until you pointed it out just now. Like
Yeah,
maybe I knew that back then, but I didn't even remember because to me that's what their relationship always has been like. Like
yeah,
they've always had the vibe of like siblings.
yeah.
She's
Well,
always
less
roasting him. So yeah,
siblings and more like sort of the relationship that Akihiko and Mitsuru have, where they've known each other for again years.
yeah,
But
but
like
they are
it's
friendly.
specifically pointed
They are
out.
friend.
I don't know if it's acknowledged more in Reload or not, but like it's specifically pointed out that obviously they knew of each other. They sit in the same classroom every day, but like they'd never really
Yeah.
spoken. And obviously Junpei being an extroverted person is probably pretty well known on campus. Whereas like
Yeah.
Yukari's got that whole oh wow sort of thing to her because she doesn't talk to anyone.
I
And
mean,
it's
Mhm.
Yukari could have easily built her opinion of Junpei from just what she's heard from him, obviously being
yeah,
extroverted.
like I
Yeah.
get why you'd say that, but again, there's an over familiarity to their relationship. There's like a sort of like
But
a
yeah,
there's
that's
sort
what
of
I
like a
mean when I
Chie and
say it.
Yosuke to it, like where again I feel like if you change a few lines of dialogue, it's probably fine. But this isn't a criticism. This is just kind of something I was pointing out when describing the differences between Yukari and Reload. So it probably like I was. This was to get to the point. I'm stumbling on my words a lot tonight, but to get to the point I'm
Mm.
laboriously getting to, it sort of colors my opinion. If I because like I've watched tier lists and like people either love her mostly because they like getting stepped on, or they really hate her because she can be excessive at times. Whereas as I've said, she's apparently cooled off a lot in Reload, so it's probably why I have a more favorable opinion of her than most
Yep,
people.
I never cared.
So like I
I
don't
never cared.
know. Okay, so let's stop wobbling over differences and talk about where we'd actually put her. So like I'm thinking maybe B tier, maybe A tier.
Be alright. Yeah.
I'm sitting at S, but so A is fine.
Yeah, you're sitting at S because
Yeah.
she wanted to step on you.
No, I just like her like as a friend, I guess.
No,
Like she was a really good friend character
yeah, very
for
much.
me. See, I was the
I
female.
agree with that. Like I said this last video. It's like in my opinion, she's the number two friend character, the Ryuji or Yosuke of the game instead of Junpei.
Yeah.
Because like if you ask me,
Yeah, in a way.
like she's the one
In
who
a way.
feels like she has that role in the group where like she's the one that tends to be she's the one who talks for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Ryuji and Yosuke both have the job of talking for the protagonist, and
Hmm.
it feels like Junpei doesn't really do that while Yukari does. Like it's Yukari that
Fair
asks the
enough.
questions. It's Yukari that points out the obvious. Okay, but why can't we just shoot him? Style of questions. And again,
Yeah.
she's the one who's got that energy for me, even if she's not as boisterous as they are.
I really
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yukari's blatant connection to the plot through her dad as well.
I like that. Yeah, I like.
True. True.
I do like with P3 overall. Like, what is it? Tap the sign. Yeah, don't make me tap the sign. P5 best gameplay, P4 best characters, P3 best story. But
Yeah.
I'll put that meme in. Like, I'll find a version of that meme that's the tap the sign meme. Memeception.
That's fair.
But like, it's a
I
common
don't. I
sentiment, and I
don't.
like how much P5's P4 P3. We're on P3. I am not even drunk for this video, and I'm more than I was when I was drunk. Like, I was drunk for the P5 video, and I'm more coherent. Or was I drunk for the cases video? I can't even remember which
maybe I
video.
don't know.
I can't even remember which video I was drunk for. And I was drunk
Oh,
for that video.
It's just a blank.
Yeah. The whole last 2 weeks is a blank for me. Honestly, I've done nothing but record videos.
Yeah.
I record videos for 8 hours, go to sleep, get up, eat food, record more videos.
Chill out, chill out.
Because I'm doing personal recordings as well. Because I have a
Yeah,
YouTube
no.
channel other than this one. But yeah, so anyway, back to what we were saying about Yukari. I'm gonna say A tier because, like I said, I really like her. But I feel like I feel like we might get some pushback on this one.
I think the general consensus was A between us anyway.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
Mm.
overall, I think we're gonna get a lot of pushback this episode because my opinion is definitely coloured by having played Reload first, and you guys have both got your own weird experiences for it. Yeah, here's a fun fact, guys. Isa hasn't played the male route; she only played the female route. So, yeah. And
I just
obviously,
realized, didn't we all experience different versions?
yeah. So I played Reload. Luna watched a playthrough of the original, and Isa played the female route. None of us have had the
Although,
same experience.
yeah, although I did also watch most of a playthrough of the Reload. I watched a fair
Yeah,
bit.
but I feel like
But,
Reload, with the amount of differences it has, playing it first kind of is why my opinion is different.
Yeah.
but again, I don't care. I don't
It's the
care.
same thing
Like,
I noticed with like people who played P5 before Royal, whereas people who played Royal and only Royal. There's a lot of differences there.
yeah, I guess.
But anyway, on to Junpei. The first thing I want to call out about Junpei is that everyone gets new outfits, and Junpei's new outfit involves him taking his fucking jacket off. Everyone else puts new clothes on, and his is to take his jacket off. Like, I'll put a comparison picture of everyone on screen, but like, with some people it's more obvious.
No,
Like
I don't.
Fuka, she's got like a
Yeah,
whole poncho now, and Junpei takes his jacket off. And I just find it so funny. Yukari, new jacket. Mitsuru, new jacket. Akihiko, not actually a new jacket, he's just got straps. But Fuka, new jacket. Even Shinji's got a slightly different jacket. Ken, new jacket. Junpei takes his jacket off. It's the funniest part to me. It's so funny. But I do actually like it better with the jacket off. I really like the new Tartarus designs, like, because obviously I'd seen the original designs. Well, they're still in the game; they don't change. But like, I really like the Tartarus designs. I just do. Anyway, on to Junpei.
Okay.
Junpei's cool. I like having even though I said that. A deep breath. Even though I said that Yukari is more the secondary character instead of Junpei, I do like the traditional like best friend male character actually having like a more deep arc, because like Ryuji and Yosuke both have arcs, but they're not really complex arcs, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, Ryuji has his issues with. He kind of has this thing at some points about being like scared to run.
Yeah.
And he also has obviously just the issues of his past. And with Yosuke, it's more just generally the societal issues, like the issues he has being the scapegoat for everyone in Inaba and being treated like shit. Those are both pretty simple arcs that are resolved pretty early, whereas Junpei's arc doesn't resolve until near the end of the story. And it's treated with more focus, if that makes sense. Both Yosuke and Ryuji basically have arcs because they have to. Like, the entire cast has to go through some sort of arc. Whereas Junpei's arc feels like it was very much intended. Or, like, more effort. I can't remember who it was that we talked about effort with, but, like, it was one of the social... It was we talked about effort with.
Instead of having like a specific section dedicated to him, his entire thing's sort of like woven throughout the entire game.
Obviously, both 4 and 3 have less of a defined section thing. Like, 5 has very defined sections.
Yeah, true.
Whereas in 4, while there is a dungeon for each section, the sections flow into each other more pleasantly. And in P3, because the bosses are relatively like, P3 doesn't have deadlines, even though it has a boss every month. Just because of the way it functions, because it doesn't have deadlines, it doesn't have as many sections. I'd say it has eras of its story, but more like 3 eras instead of like the 6 defined sections that the other games have.
Mhm.
Like, with the other games, it sort of feels like, you go through 5 mostly contained arcs and then it ramps up into the climax instantaneously. Like, there's not really, like, P5 especially, like, well, Akumura's Palace sort of lays the groundwork, and you feel like you're sort of starting to approach it. I don't feel like a lot of people would feel like they're near the end, if that makes sense. And then Sai's
Yeah.
Palace is a bit weirdly paced because it has to work around the flash forward. And then you go to Shido's Palace and bam, end. Well, not end, but like you're in the end game at that point. Like you're past the point of no return.
Yeah.
Like you can't
Mhm.
go back to school at that point, and that's a clever way they kind of hammer it in. And P4 is even more abrupt with suddenly starting at the climax. Like you get these offhanded lines about it getting more foggy, but that's about it. And then all of a sudden, bam, you know, Nanako
Yeah.
gets kidnapped and the pace doesn't slow down.
Mm.
Like,
Uh,
whereas with P3, it sort of eases into the climax better because what you could call the climax is the final boss, which is, as always, well, it's not on Christmas; it's on New Year's this time. But traditionally, the final boss is on Christmas in these sort of games. Is that an SMT thing or
Yeah.
just a Persona thing?
Who knows?
I
I
suppose
don't
the
know.
other SMT games don't really have calendars, so yeah, I suppose that's more of a Persona thing then. But like, they're always in December, but the other 2 games have the final boss on or around Christmas. Well, final boss in P4's case, but like climax. Whereas in P3 it's on New Year's, but even then, that's what you could call the climax. But everything like, God, is it? Oh, it's like the start of November, and from that point on, like, it's that's the point where the climax starts, and it doesn't end until the end of December, which is just, I don't know. It's just an interesting comment about the story's pacing,
Right.
and sort of like what we were saying with when with the tap the sign meme. P3 is the one where its cast feels the most intertwined into its story. Like
Oh, definitely.
in P4 and P5,
I
most of the characters are there by happenstance.
yeah.
Like in P4, it's
I
literally a coincidence. Like that's a plot point.
I definitely wouldn't like I wouldn't say P3 has my favorite story or anything,
Mm.
but I do agree that it has the most like it has a better like way of incorporating the characters into the story, and it has the better themes of the series. The theming
Yeah,
of that is in the way that
I
they
think
work.
I think P3 is
The
is
team.
the one game where the story was the focus instead of the characters.
Yeah,
Whereas in P4, it's
Yeah.
explicit that the characters are
that,
the focus and the story is secondary. But in P5, it
yeah,
sort of feels like they wrote the story around the characters.
yeah. No,
Whereas
that
P3 is the one where the story is without a doubt the focus.
yeah, no, that is a good way of putting it. I would definitely say personally that before has my favorite story and my favorite characters.
Mm.
But yeah, I can definitely agree there.
But yeah, so it's just like, I mean, like you go through the cart of each game, and like considering their final like story, most of the characters are there mostly by coincidence. And in P4, they are
Yeah,
entirely there by coincidence, except for maybe Naoto, and even then, that's just because she gets herself involved in the story.
mm,
Like, with excluding the protagonist, everyone in P4, it's a complete coincidence. And in P5, I'd
right.
say it's about a 70-30 split. Like, characters like Makoto and Haru are more involved in the overall story, and obviously Akechi's his own thing. But even then,
Yeah,
most of the cast, it's kind of coincidental. Because unlike in P4, where you are following the sole string of a singular mystery, in P5 you're just kind of picking at bits of it and then happen to get to the conclusion.
Mm.
Whereas in P3,
uh,
every single character is integral to the story and it doesn't work without them, except. No, I'd say every character is integral to the story. I think the only one you could really cut out and not really lose any central events is Fuka, but she's so important to actually solving roadblocks that it doesn't really work.
yeah.
Mm.
To be honest, I think the only one would be Koromaru.
Well, yeah,
But even then,
Koromaru,
like
but
who the hell?
Koromaru's not really a
Yeah,
character either. We love Koromaru,
Dog.
but he's not
Yeah.
he's not a character in the same way the rest are. Like if you look at it, obviously Minato's got his own thing going on. You got Yukari with her dad, Junpei's relationship with Chidori, though that doesn't really come in until near the end. Akihiko and Mitsuru are the entire reason that we're involved at all. And like more Mitsuru than Akihiko, but like he's involved because of her. She's got everything going on. I guess has got lots of things going on, and then Ken and Shinji have their respective role in the story. And Koromaru, like I said, not really a character, whereas Fuka's kind of just there, well, by coincidence, actually. Like,
Yeah, but
Fuka's
she
story is
does have
interesting, and we're going to get to her, but
Yeah.
she's the only one who's not
Yeah.
really tied into the grand conspiracy of it all.
fair
Yeah.
enough. But let's get back to let's get back to
Junpei.
him because
Let's get back to the man.
we are rambling so much.
But yeah, I mean, I like Junpei a lot, but I don't like him as passionately as Ryuji, and I don't have the same issues with him I had with Yosuke. So he's like.
He's
Possibly A, but probably B. He's very much Makoto and An for me. Like I like him, but I don't vibe with him the same way I do with like Yusuke and Futaba, for example.
I see. I like all three of them about the same. Like
For me,
they're all like
I like Junpei as much as Ryuji, but for like completely different reasons. Like I jive with Ryuji's whole personality more, whilst I feel like Junpei's played a lot more straight and realistically, which I also like.
Yeah,
So
Junpei's whole role, like I said, role in the story and arc is really interesting.
Yeah,
But like,
I'd probably put Junpei S again. I'm going S again.
sometimes he can
we'll
feel
probably end up A.
superfluous. Like until Chidori gets involved in the story properly, sometimes he can feel superfluous, and it often feels like the dialogue writers sort of resent having to have him in every scene. Because he often feels like he contributes the least, not in a actually doing stuff sense, but in just even though you hear him a lot, you feel like he doesn't say as much as the rest of the cast do. Again,
I feel like that's
until
intentional though, because I feel like that's intentional though, because of his emotional state throughout the game. He's constantly distancing himself.
Yeah, and I get why you could say that, but at that point we're playing coulda, woulda, shoulda, when we're like, oh, it could be intentional, or maybe it's this intentionally. Like,
I mean, he has a whole arc where he feels the most useless. Like he feels useless in his group and stuff.
Yeah, no, I get that. Obviously, like he's important, but he doesn't really shine until the latter half of the game, and the latter half of the game has less character focus overall, so it kind of causes him to suffer compared to the rest of the cast.
But yeah, either way, they are all about like even for me, like I don't care that much for any of them, but I do think his relationship with Chidori definitely bumps him up quite a bit. So
I can see that. Like it's
hard
very
to tell.
cute. Like when I look at the tiers and who else is in them, like he's B tier for me.
Yeah, definitely B tier. I think I like him less than Ryuji and Yosuke personality wise alone. I find him pretty annoying to be honest, but I definitely think the story value.
Yeah, very
I
much.
think B is good.
Like I said, if this was just P3, he'd probably go in A, because A sort of feels right, but then I look at who else we put in A and who else we put in B, and he's B tier.
Again, I don't personally.
Going B then, but
Right, so now it is Akihiko. I really like Akihiko. He's like, for me, he's got that, not in the sense of a personality, but like he's got that Yusuke and Kanji thing where I just kind of vibe with him.
Yeah.
Like
I really like Akihiko as well.
Like he's the male character I enjoy hanging out with the most.
Yeah, well, almost anyway. Mainly because my love interest is elsewhere.
But like, I mean, out of the main cast, like he's like of the main cast, the characters I enjoyed hanging out with the most. And again, I think a lot of that is Reload because they added extra hangout events to the male playthrough.
Well, for me, obviously playing the female,
yeah, obviously he has a social link. But I really liked the not a social link they did with him in Reload. Like I really liked it.
Right.
I don't know if I saw it to the end.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
one, you beat up an entire gang with him. Like a shit ton of
nice.
gang members surround you, and you beat the shit out of all of them off screen. Like it does like a
I
black
think,
screen punching sounds thing. You beat
I
up an
think I remember
entire
that.
gang of mobsters with just him, which adds to my
Yeah.
theory that Persona users do have superpowers in the real world, just not like immediately obvious ones. No, I'm serious. Like,
Maybe. Maybe.
because if you think about it, especially in P3, there is no other world. You're just the only ones awake during the dark hour, so it makes no sense that you don't have your powers in the real world.
Maybe.
I suppose.
So, like, you probably
A little
can't
bit.
shoot laser beams, but I like to think that Persona users, like,
Yeah.
they don't. You can't put holes in them as easy, if that makes sense.
Like the personas are like fueling them almost
Yeah, in a
passively.
way. So, like, if you were to, like, I don't know, I like to think of it in a sense of, like, recovery. Like, if Agahiko were to break his leg, he'd probably be off it for, like, a week. Unlike a normal
Right.
person who'd be off it for months.
Yeah. But
Um,
I don't know. It could be the case. It could not. Like,
I mean, explain to me how spindly ass fucking introvert shut-in bitch ass Minato can get into a 2v50 something fight. Like, sure, Agahiko can defend himself, right? No shit, right? Like, I have no problem believing Agahiko could beat up 20 guys on his own, but then I'm there, I didn't get hurt, and, like, we beat up, like, 50 guys. Like, I had to have been helping.
yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest,
And, like, you're telling me that son
to
of a
me,
bitch can win a fist fight without magic powers? No.
yeah. To me, it's simply just anime logic.
What I really want
I
to
don't
see,
better not.
I really want to see a depowered fist fight between like shut-in, half-dead man Minato and actual skeleton that's barely alive Takaya, and see how fucking scuffed that would be. They're just like tripping over their own feet, trying to fucking move. Because yes, I will remind you that Minato is technically dead throughout the entire game.
Hmm.
What we call
Yeah.
the
All right.
I was about to spoil the shit out of something. I was about to say what we call the X character twist, and I realized that would spoil the shit out of something, so I decided not to do that.
Fair enough.
Not that you guys would probably care, but like, I don't want to spoil one of the
Okay.
things I really like. But yeah, if
Okay.
you really think about it, technically Minato is so dead that he's alive throughout the entire game because he literally houses the spirit of death. So he's so dead
Yeah.
that he's alive.
That's true.
Just thought I'd point that out. That like he's probably the first person to be so fucking dead that they aren't dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Agihiko. Like he's cool, he's fun, and I enjoy hanging out with him. Like I don't really have anything super complex to say beyond that.
Me neither.
He's sort of the only character that I have a P4 level lack of things to say about him. He's just cool. Like
Yeah,
he
pretty much.
manages to feel like he's a year older than you without that kind of getting away. Like often when you have upperclassmen in Persona cast, like P5 really has this problem. They don't feel a year older than you.
Right.
Like Makoto and Haru, they're both. It feels like the game sort of forgets that they're supposed to be an entire year older than you. And sometimes, like, it's not really a problem, just something I noticed. Whereas with Akihiko, he very much feels like he's a year older than you without that getting in the way of his characterization.
Maybe I can't really comment. I haven't really thought about that much.
It's just something I noticed. But what else was I gonna say? Right, so like he's I don't know about S tier, but definitely A tier.
Yeah, I was gonna say the A or S, so A.
What do you think?
Hey,
Flynn?
I have no strong feelings about him. Like, sure.
Right.
Honestly, how dare you have different opinions than us?
Again, like I said, I have very legal strong feelings about most of the cast in P3. Like,
You just have
for
very little
me,
strong feelings about P3 in general. You're kind of like that.
yeah, I have a few characters that I quite like, but most of them are like Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, next is Mitsuru. I love Mitsuru to death. Like, she's without a doubt my favorite character in the main cast and probably the entire game. Like,
I just I, I just think she's hot to me. That I
obviously
can't say
she's
much more
like
than that.
really hot, and that's definitely part of it. That's definitely why I gravitated towards her at first because holy shit. But like,
Yeah.
that's not really most. I love everything about Mitsuru. One, she's just like
Oh, okay.
just her entire attitude, like, and the way she behaves is cool to me. Like, this is the
Yeah.
one bit where like, I just love it to death. I sort of talked about it when I think it was during the P5 video. How funny it is. Like, if you really read between the lines, she's got some weird level of massive thing for you, and it bleeds through constantly. Like, she spoils the shit out of you.
She does.
Like, we mentioned it in the P5 video with you just getting to be on the student council, but like not in like a serious way where you have like a job to do. You kind of just get to be.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like she's telling you about it, and she introduces it to you, and she's just like, yeah, you can kind of just show up when you want, and it won't be all that much. Like, there's not really anything we're expecting you to do. Just you can be.
If you want to,
You know,
you can.
and
Could be fun.
Please be with me.
what makes it even funnier is that none of the student council members seem to have any problem with this. Like, it doesn't even seem to cross their mind that it's a bit weird that their president is abusing the shit out of her power to put her boyfriend on the council for no reason and not give him any jobs to do. Like, even Hidetoshi, whose head is so far up his arse he reads the paper through his nostrils.
Yay! We love nepotism. Yay!
He just doesn't have a problem with it, and he gets along with you perfectly fine.
She
Which
just
is-
seems to have a complete dictatorship throughout the whole school.
I talked about
Yeah.
this on in a discussion once, where like Mitsuru is basically the god of this fucking school. Like, I remind you that her family's company built the island, built the school, owns the island still. So like anyone who lives on this island, she literally owns the land they walk on. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta understand, governments don't have the amount of control over their countries that the Kurija group has over the island. Like, if you step on a blade of grass, then they own that blade of grass. But like, especially with the school, like Mitsuru just casually,
Yeah.
like during the bit with Fuka, where like one of the teachers is being like a massive bitch. I don't know if this is in the original or not. I think I heard it was added in Reload. But like, one of the teachers is being a massive bitch and trying to get in her way, and she basically just mum talks the shit out of them and says, "If you get out of my way, bye." and the guy's just like, "I'm so sorry. Oh my god, please don't kill me." And it's just like, she's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
and it sort of adds to a
Well,
dynamic that I want to point this. Mr. is the best place to point this out. P3 sort of flips the traditional, or like not really traditional, I suppose, because it was first of the original of the classic Persona games. Classic's the wrong word. Conventional. It was the first of the conventional modern Persona games, but it sort of flips the traditional JRPG vibe of protagonist versus antagonist on its head. Where like in most of these sort of things, you're the scrappy group of heroes going up against the big evil empire, and the villains tend to be either the big evil empire or just one big tough bad guy. Whereas in this game, not only are the villains the ragtag group of, well, Strega, not the other villains, but like, they are the ragtag group of like suffering victims of the system rebelling against humanity, and you're the evil, like not evil, but like you're the one funded by the giant mega corporation and able to basically do whatever you want. Like, it's just a
It
weird
is
flip of
cool.
it. Like, it is like, it's the joke. Is like Strega is just a Final Fantasy pie.
It
Like,
doesn't really feel strange that it does that either.
no, it doesn't feel weird, but like you compare it to P5 and it's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
it's the exact opposite dynamic. It's like even the police on this island are Mitsuru's bitch. Like,
Well, again, she is a dictator and she's hot, so she gets like double points. So
Yeah.
you know,
No, it's like it's
Right.
another thing, sort of building on the student council point, and how much Mitsuru just like spoils the shit out of the protagonist. Is like you just get so you get gifts when you do well on your exams, which no one else gets.
Yeah.
Like she says that it's a gift from what's his name, from the chairman. But one, it's clearly not. And two, the gifts continue even after he's dead as a fucking doornail and in the ground. So, yeah, you're not covering for yourself well there, mate. Which means that she's just going out and, like, buying you presents for doing well on your exams, which she's clearly not doing with anyone else. Like, I think it's even commented on in, like, an optional bit of dialogue with either Junpei or Yukari at one point. Like, why are you getting gifts and we aren't? Like, oh, I don't think you like the answer to that, but there is an answer to that. But no, it's just so funny
And-
for like when you look at the archetype Mitsuru is and the sort of role you sort of conventionally expect her to be in, you don't expect her to be the one with the crush.
Mitsuru also is like giving you the leader role constantly.
Yeah, I mean, even though that one
'Cause
makes
she's the one that
some
gives back
sense
to
because
you.
you have the special powers, like even when she comes back to actual combat, she never bothers to take it back off you. Even though she
Yeah.
says at the start of the game that if we get to the point where I can actually participate in combat, then I'll probably start leading the group again, and then never does. And again, it's just never
Yeah.
really commented on. Like, I don't know. I just think
just
if you think about it, if you boil it down, at least in the male route, like, because like obviously some of this sort of exists in the female route too. I don't know about the student council
Oh,
thing,
all of
but
it
like,
does.
right,
All of it is the same.
because I didn't because
She's still just infatuated with you.
yeah, but like I just like to think about it that Mitsuru is literally the rich girl with a crush on an emo boy, and
Yeah.
like she's literally like the rich girl meeting the first emo and like her first emo boy and having a massive crush on him.
yeah.
Like,
What
I'm gonna
happened?
go on a tangent here because it reminds me of a great story I heard. Because like I study Greek myth as a hobby because I'm a massive nerd. Um, and there's
What?
this. Let me just go on this tangent. There's this really funny story of Apollo. You might have heard of him. Basically, spending a few years because I don't know, he pissed off Zeus or something. I don't remember. So he's living in the mortal world for a while, and he falls in love with this king. Um, and like even after he's become like a god again and is super powerful again, he just keeps like absolutely fucking pining after this king and just showering him with gifts and favors to the point where it's embarrassing all the other gods. Oh come on, have some decorum. And that's what Mitsuru feels like. Where it's just like it's just completely useless. But no, anyway, all this rambling is just to say we're putting Mitsuru in S tier and we're moving forward because she's my favorite character in the entire game.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm just enjoying rambling. It's what all these videos are. It's just an excuse for me to ramble and all you people to be forced to listen.
I'm always happy to listen to you.
Okay, Fuka. I like fuck. She's funny.
She's interesting.
The joke is that her name sounds like fuck.
That's a good one.
Get it? It's really funny because the word fuck is hilarious. Don't tell me the word fuck isn't hilarious. So
Anyways, obviously, first things first, I gotta acknowledge. I always gotta shout out the mandatory autistic one of the group.
Yep.
Every group friend gotta have one of those, and I appreciate Persona for keeping it realistic. I appreciate it. But yeah, she's cool. Okay.
I do like
Why
Fuka. She plays the important role of being the most simultaneously the weird one and also the most normal one of the group. Like
Yeah.
she's the most normal person of the entire group, despite being heavily autistic coded. Because like Mitsuru and Akihiko are both about as anime character as you can get, and then Junpei's got this massive inferiority complex going on, and Yukari's like, yeah,
wait.
wait, what?
Are you trying to imply? Are you trying to imply that autistic people are normal, Rosa? What the fuck?
Well, more that she's
Wow.
normal by comparison. So Lou, I'm gonna throw
You
you off a
thought
fucking pier.
You think you know a person? Oh my god! Wow.
Luna, I'm gonna throw you off a fucking pier if you interrupt me ever again.
Try me.
Oh, I will kill you. Anyway, that's what we're saying. So, like, with Yukari being like a massive bitch, and Mitsuru and Akihiko being humongous anime characters, and Junpei having an inferiority complex, Fuka is somehow the most normal of the group, even though it makes no
Yeah.
sense.
I mean, yeah,
She's just
she just
vibing.
sort of got bullied.
Yeah, like
She's
especially
just vibing.
we mentioned this already with like the role in the stories part, but like the entire reason she's in the story is a coincidence, and everyone just kind of keeps her around because they like her. Like everyone else has an integral role to play at least by the end, and Fuka's just kind of there, like just so Mitsuru can fight, and because it's like,
Yeah, she was also just super useful. Like, yes, we need this person.
well, in story at least, in gameplay, it took until Reload for it to be useful.
Yeah, I mean, like story-wise, obviously.
Though to be fair, in
Yeah,
Reload they did fix her to be super useful.
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, every group gotta have the autistic one. So obviously they knew they needed her. Let's say.
Yeah, like I said, Fuka adds a very important level of realism and just groundedness to the entire group, because like I said, everyone else is so invested in this whole story. Fuka's just kind of here. Like the only stake she has in it is that it will end the world if they fail. Whereas, like
Yeah, which is a stake, but it's
it's
not
very
a
much a stake,
personal one.
but it gives you a sort of outside perspective on the very inside. Like P3 has a very inside story, despite threatening the entire world. Like, despite having probably the highest stakes of the entire series, depending on how you interpret what Adachi says about what the fog will do to the world. Like, you know,
Yeah.
P3 is like I said, it's the most insular story going on. Everything going on relates to the past of the Karijo group and blah 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 blah. And a full half of the cast comes from that sort of angle and area. Whereas Fuka is just a normal student at the school who got involved in all of this.
Yeah.
And it very much grounds the later insanity. And
Yeah.
like,
Well, yeah, like I said, you can sum her up as she's just vibing. She's just along for the ride.
yeah. So what do we say? A tier,
I
I'd
say
say
B
B
again.
tier.
I say
beach.
B again like a basic
Yeah.
bitch.
Wow, beach. I mean, if B tier is what we're thinking, then we'll go with that. And I do like kind of keeping the cast spread out along the tiers because we've done it every other time. But wow, I expected you guys to put her
Yeah.
higher, to be honest. Okay, and now it's for the time for robot. It's
I
time. It's
guess.
time for house. It's time for Hey Siri. Um, Aegis is hilarious. Like, we call Fuka the
She's
autistic one,
great.
but Aegis is literally like roboticized autism. Like, everything
Yeah,
about
no,
her is
we know.
so funny. The bit where she just stands next to your bed and you wake up just like, hi.
she,
And it's just,
she does it like it's just completely normal.
and everything about Aegis is just a massive meme. Like, it's just, the one thing I wish P3 had is what P5 has, where when you're like ready to go into the actual dungeons, you could just have a bit where everyone sits idle. Like, in P5 when you're in the hideouts, you can just see people doing
Yeah,
funny idle animations. I wish we got that, because man, Aegis's would probably be hilarious.
should probably be Naruto running or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. Like, she's just such a fucking mess. It's so funny. And like, I will comment that I haven't played the answer yet. When it comes out, when the Reload expansion pass releases it, I'm going to play it then. But I haven't played it yet, so I can't
Yes,
comment on any of that from it.
I obviously played Portable, so there was no
Yeah.
answer.
I know the long and short of what happens in it, but that doesn't really give you a vibe for how the characters feel in it.
Yeah.
Hence why I didn't bother
I
commenting on
I
the whole conflict that the entire cast has in that. Like, I know about it, but I haven't played it, so I don't want to comment on it.
I know about it. I barely remember it. Yeah, I don't think it would change my opinion all that much.
Yeah, but like, obviously it's mostly important when it comes to Aegis because she's the main character of it, and you get a lot of
Yeah.
detail on her. It also proves that Persona could easily do speaking protagonist and it would work fine.
Yeah.
But trust
This,
Atlas to learn the right
this is
lessons.
this is also a bias thing, but I find it really cool how Aegis will fall in love with you, whether you're a girl or a boy,
Oh yeah.
and also will not care if you date someone else as well.
Yep, it makes perfect sense. There's a couple times in P4 and P3 where you can trip up the game trying to at least shame you for cheating. P4 doesn't really punish you in the same way P5 does. Everyone's just a bit depressed about it, and the game essentially
Mm.
guilt trips you. But in P4, you can actually trip the system quite easily because when they made Golden, they didn't consider that there's no they didn't they didn't put a flag down for that to happen if you date Marie. So you can date Marie and a member of the investigation team, and the game doesn't punish you for it. Just an
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah, it's
fact.
essentially like that with Aegis as well.
Well, with
You're just
Aegis, it's more of
allowed.
an intentional story thing where she just doesn't care. Like,
Yeah, she's just like, this is cool.
because she has no reason to care. Because why would she understand that people have issues with that?
Yeah.
To be honest, maybe she was just programmed to be polyamorous. To be honest.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So she's autistic
Anyways,
and poly. Wow, it's literally robot me.
wow,
Um,
wow.
but jokes about I guess being a meme aside, I do like her in a serious sense as well. Like her role in the story is really interesting, and the way the game sort of uses how funny and uncanny she is to sort of put you off guard. Where the funny robot that doesn't really understand humanity is sort of a pretty common anime thing. And do you know what I've noticed staring at this tier? This is completely unrelated, but do you know what I've noticed staring at this tier list a lot?
Mm.
Hmm?
Is how similar Igor and the SIU director look.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Because
That's well said.
we've got Yaldabaoth in the E tier and then the SIU director in the F tier, but they're on top of each other.
Mm.
So they look really similar because they've got the same back hair, balding head. Even though Igor's hair is
Yeah.
longer. And I just noticed it staring at this Jesus Christ, you two, when's the family reunion coming?
That's
Anyway,
Igor's mortal vessel.
yeah. Oh no, I can make such a Kingdom Hearts joke here, but none of you uncultured fuckers would get it. No, but anyway, back to Igus. Sorry, I got completely distracted because I'm just staring at the screen. All I can see is the tier list, and it took. I just noticed it. Yeah, Igus is cool. I'm not as bananas for her as some people are because Igus sort of like Adachi is a meme adored character. The meme is how liked she is.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. She is the mimetic goddess of this entire fandom. Very
Yeah, yeah.
much. But I'm not as
For
over the
once,
moon with her as that.
for once, I have
Uh,
the coldest take imaginable, and she's my favorite Persona character.
She's your favorite? Wow, is there something I missed? She didn't really strike me as that groundbreaking of a character. She's a solid B or A tier character. But one thing that did sort of trip me up is despite how focused on she is and how integral to the story she is, she doesn't feel as deep and developed. Not even deep in a character way, but just there doesn't feel like there's as much to her. She feels
yeah.
like she's suitable for a party member, but compared to how did the counterpart characters for her are Sumire, Marie, Sophia, like and
Yeah.
I guess Labris even. Wow, no shit. But she just doesn't feel as deep as the rest of them, despite having such a really involved role in the story. She's kinda generic. Like again, maybe it's because she's based
Well,
on a very overused trope of the robot and all that.
mm,
But she just sort of feels like she sort of trucks through her role in the story like it's her 9 to 5. Like even when you get to the really interesting part with her and Ryoji and her on the bridge and all that, and man, am I going to gush about Ryoji when we get there. But I don't know, she sort of feels undertuned. I think is the best word. Haha, robot. But she does everything just fine. It's just I have noticed that she's absolutely adored by the fandom, and I've never quite understood it.
I just really love everything about her. I love her role in the story. I love
Oh, she's
how
great.
the
She's
way she
hilarious.
acts.
I love her
I,
absolutely. But like,
and
I
I've always had a soft spot for the whole is a robot a person thing, and I really
Hmm.
like how I guess when you first meet her is very much just incredibly robotic, and it sort of lessens the further it goes through.
yeah,
Like
I
she
do
becomes
like that because
less
like
robotic.
that's like we said, that's really common. But I like how Aegis does go through an arc of becoming more human, but it's not focused on extensively. It sort of just happens naturally, and you notice it. Whereas,
Yeah,
like, most of the time when they do the is a robot a person story, like, if you ever want a really good look into the whole how human is a robot thing, watch the oh fuck overly sarcastic productions trope talk on it. It's so interesting.
yeah.
Um,
We trust
pardon? Sorry, you said something
we
and I missed
trust
it.
in OSP. We trust in OSP.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll gush about OSP later, but like, I guess is an interesting addition to that because, like I said, she goes through the arc of going basically all the way from robot to person without it ever being the central focus of the story. Like,
yeah.
even when Aegis herself is the central focus of the story around the final shadow, like, and
Mm,
like I said, everything with Ryoji, even when she takes over as the central focus of the story, it's never really focusing on the humanity thing, but it also never stops. You notice it constantly throughout different scenes.
mm.
How she
I just
reacts to
I
like
things
how
differently.
low key. I just like how low key it is.
Like
It's just something
compare her
that you notice.
interactions with Strega at the first time she meets them compared to her interactions with them at the end, and you just notice how completely different she is just as a person.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really interesting.
Mm.
Like, I don't know, she's
uh,
just interesting like that.
I I just gotta say like uh, yeah, I just been thinking all this time that I can just sum up my whole opinion by stating the fact that I watch I watched a playthrough of Persona 5 Strikers before I watched a Persona 3 playthrough,
I
so
also played
you
Strikers
know
before I played 3, so
Same.
Sophia comes before Aigis for me. So obviously by comparison I find
yeah.
Sophia much more interesting.
I mean,
And
I
Aigis is
gush
kind of
like
like
fuck about Sophia. Oh my god, could you imagine if Sophia got like a full length game like Aegis does instead of like a third of a game?
yeah.
Wow. But
Uh,
no, Aegis is definitely an
but,
A tier, but I just, like I said, she just doesn't crack S tier for me.
yeah, no, just fine. Again, it's all that someone saying that they're fine. They're okay. Like,
Mm. Yeah,
and people are
Aegis,
gonna
solid
hate me
A
for it.
tier. But
I
no,
would like to use my fuck you. We're putting them in S tier now.
what with Aegis?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
We did promise that. And again, I have no problem with them being an S tier. But like I said, I think maybe just when I get more of them in the answer, I'll probably like them more. Um,
Oh, I can't wait for that
oh no,
because I
neither
love
can I. I'm
Aegis.
absolutely looking forward to it. Have you not
It'll
played
be my first
Reload?
time playing. Nope.
Well, you can. You said
I haven't seen it.
you haven't done the mail route, so fucking play Reload. Do the mail route. It's a decent
Uh,
excuse to do it. Like it's a whole new fucking thing.
it is, but like I just don't want to have to play it all again like this soon. If that makes sense.
Maybe I'll
Yeah.
stream it and you guys can
Yeah,
watch.
I'll
Like
watch that.
that's
I'll
only
watch
half
that.
a joke. I'd love to do Let's Plays if I could find out a way to record it.
Yeah,
So,
I'd love to do that.
Probably could. I'll look into it. Anyway, Koromaru. Can we just agree that funny dog man that's not like he's a dog? Can he go in the S tier just because like it's Koromaru and we love him?
Yeah,
He's just like he manages to be the ultimate bro without ever talking.
yeah.
I really love how we get a lot of his stories just to do with his owner, and it's really
Yeah.
emotional. So it is really cool.
Also,
But
they added
even though
scenes in.
it's
You
not
don't know
actually
this,
about.
but they added scenes in Reload where you can just take him for walks most nights, and you'll run into other confidants. I still call them confidants. Give me a break. And you just get funny interactions where the different social links are like, oh, it's a dog, cute, blah 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 blah. And some of them already know him because they've seen him around the place. Some of them don't. All I'm saying is that
Oh,
you
that's
get
cool.
interactions between Maiko and Koromaru, and that's all I ever wanted.
Does it
Nice.
give you points towards those social links if you meet them?
I think I think you get like a 1 point, like you do in P4 when you do good on your exams, you get school social link points. It's like that,
Oh, cool. So it's like Danganronpa another 2.
I guess. That's on my list. I haven't touched Fangans yet. Anyway, Ken, I do I like Ken or do I not like Ken?
I really like Ken a lot.
I like Ken's story, but I don't know how much of Ken's story is Shinji that I like and how much of it's him. Because, like,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, I love Shinji, but like
I think they're very intertwined.
Ken's story is
I
interesting, but I don't know how much of it makes me enjoy him as a character.
I think I don't think I'm that invested in King. Although the story is good,
Yeah,
I don't.
like again, I
I
I
don't.
like.
really love Ken, but I'm incredibly biased because he was my love interest character.
Oh come on!
I mean, I was
Look, to be fair,
surprised.
it's in the game, but God, I heard you say that earlier. Like, we'll get to my love interest character later, and I'm like, oh, I wonder who it is.
I,
Come on!
I knew. I knew. As soon as you say that, I like. Yeah, I know you. I know.
Look, let's just like.
Yeah.
How many jokes do I want to make on
Okay.
YouTube? How many of these jokes do I want to make on YouTube?
I guess we can just say is really is made for YouTube, huh?
Time jump. So, please ignore the massive jump cut that probably just happened. I'll see how good it looks in the editing. So yeah, overall rating on Ken because this conversation is ending.
I mean, I'm
Uh,
saying S again.
That's because you say S for every character.
I do in Persona 3.
Okay, so I think.
oh god.
Oh no! Again, looking at character rankings, I think C.
For me, it's C.
Yeah, compared to where other characters are, it's C. Like,
Yeah.
I don't dislike
And
them, but they're my least
yeah,
favorite
I
of
was
the
gonna say that.
cast.
Yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
think I said this in the P4 video. I think this is the cast that has the best overall. Like, there's no character dropping below C tier, but there has to be a loser, and it's him.
Yeah.
He's a loser because he's got no parents. I'm funny.
Ha!
Anyway, Shinji. I love Shinji.
Don't make
He's
that
awesome.
joke.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah,
He's
Shinji's
pretty
your
good.
daddy. We love him. He's so cool. Normally, I hate the temporary
Okay.
party member because, like, why give us this fucking character and then not let us keep them? But I love Shinji.
I mean, he has a pretty good reason for not staying.
No, but like when they do this with the temporary party member that then dies, like I've never liked that. But with him, somehow it works. Oh yeah, by the way, to everyone watching, this is now a drinking video. I am now drinking. It's gonna get more scuffed as we go on.
Oh
Yeah,
dear.
she's got a problem. Please subscribe to the channel and help her get help.
And by get help, I mean buy more Jack Daniels.
No, no.
You walked into that one. Ah, no, this is an
Thing.
occasion thing for me. Definitely, I definitely drink something lighter more normally. But this is what I've got in the house, so because I don't drink beer.
Yeah.
Right, Shinji, do we say A tier or S tier? Like, if Shinji
For
were
me, I
around
think
more, he'd definitely be S tier. But like,
for me it is actually a like I know I have like pretty lukewarm feelings towards most of the cast, but Shinji, I think he definitely earns, even though his stay is very short.
mm,
But yeah, he is a very strong character for the little time he
yeah.
has.
In addition, sort of like what we said with Naoto in the last video, while it's not as prevalent with him, he is around before his short stint in the pie. So he doesn't
Yeah.
feel quite
Yeah,
as he doesn't enter and then exit in the same month.
you know
So
he's
I do
he's
like
around.
But like, do we say A tier or S tier? No, he can go in A tier because then he can be with Akihiko, and that's cute.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
Gay.
let the gays be. Let the gays.
Though I'd probably say B or C personally.
Wow, harsh. Like that.
How strange.
Like,
This is-
like I really
Living up
like
to your
his role in the
reputation for having
story.
terrible opinions.
I really like his
yeah.
role in the story
Wow.
and everything, but I just don't like him that much.
Girl who thinks fucking Ken is better than fucking Shinji.
Well,
He should have been better then.
I
Kenji and
guess so.
Hidetoshi have the same body. They just have a head swap. Okay, I don't like Kenji.
Oh god.
I get the
I
whole
forgot
thing
his.
with the whole like he's into older women and blah 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 blah. But guess what? His social link sucks.
Yeah.
Like it's not interesting, and he's just like I don't know. I
I
just
like
don't
him.
like it.
Yeah.
You got to remember, even though you agree with me, I have to keep explaining. We're explaining to the camera. That's how recording works. Sorry, you completely cut there. Sorry, are you doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't tell if that was my connection breaking up. Fucking hell, get me going. No, but anyway, so like, I get what they're going for with Kenji's arc and the whole thing of, well, guess what? Being into older women means you're probably gonna get fucking punked. But one, you didn't need to take 10 ranks to do that, and two, bit funny considering P5.
Yeah.
Also, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like a Yukari type of annoying where like he's a bitch. He's not a bitch. He's just well, he's kind of a shared, but he's just annoying, and I don't like being around him. It's like it's like a D tier. Don't get me wrong. It's another Oya style of link where I just don't like it. It's not like a passionate hatred, but like it's another case of I could be doing a different social link right now.
The Ori for me. I couldn't care less.
I said D. Right, Hidetoshi. Hidetoshi's awesome. I love him. It's a pretty standard
I kind of like.
it's a pretty standard arc of the stuck up like rules lawyer sort of kid getting like just chilling the fuck out. But like I just think it's a really simple like standard anime arc done really well.
Yeah.
It's certainly solid.
I think I closed the fridge. I closed the fridge. Sorry, I heard a beeping.
I don't have much.
Close the fridge.
Yeah. Don't have much to add.
He's like an A tier, but he's like a high A tier if this was internally ranked, which it's not. But like he would be a high A tier for me. I really enjoyed his social link.
Oh wow.
Damn.
And I just like he's the perfect social link because he doesn't try and like give a grand commentary on the human condition in 10 ranks, but it also doesn't feel like, well, why am I even doing this? Like with Kenji, it's like this is taking for fucking ever to get to the most basic point you could do in one rank. Like Hidetoshi social link is the perfect balance for me for what a social link should be.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
for me, it's a B or a C, but I respect it.
Yeah, I agree with Luna. For me, it's a B or a C.
Okay, well,
B is good.
I think we should probably go B since that's the middle.
Yeah,
middle ground.
that's definitely the consensus. And I suppose we put EY in B, and I let that go. So, like, if you ask me my favorite social link as an actual like story from each game, it would be Hidetoshi, I, and EY. Like, not characters themselves, just the social link story. Those are my favorites.
That's interesting. I mean, I do think it's good. It's just not anything like that blew me away or anything.
Okay, who's next? Is Minshiki and Mitsuko.
Yeah.
Another one that
the
sort of
game.
feels like it has to drag out 10 ranks, but it's a really good
Yeah.
story. I do like it. Bit weird that they're on here separately, but would it be cruel to put the guy with Alzheimer's in the But Who Are You tier? Would that be cruel? Would it be cruel to put the guy that has like dementia in the But Who Are You tier?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry,
I
some jokes have to be made. Yeah, I really like them.
I will eat your liver. I will literally eat your liver.
I can tell from that you really like them.
I do quite like them. They're not like one of my favorites, but I do quite like them.
It's very much a solid confidant story, but
Yeah.
it sort of suffers from the opposite problem of things not happening in front of you, where you go out and do things, but they're not there for them. Like everything with the tree,
Yeah.
because it's on the school grounds, they
Oh
can't be
yeah.
there for those scenes. It's very funny to see something that suffers from the opposite problem of most confidants of the whole it all happens off screen, but it's still kind of a criticism. Like I think they're B tier if it were me. Like I like that their
Yeah.
social link. It's just it doesn't really light the world on fire. It's a good social link. You know, it's sort of like Takemi
Yeah.
and Shinya.
Pretty much.
Okay,
I
so
don't really have any strong feelings on it at
we
all.
can settle on that. Right, I think we've hit our first one. I'm pretty sure this guy's one isn't Miyamoto. I know that's his last name, but I can't remember his first name. I'm pretty sure his isn't in the FemC route, so I think we've hit our first. This is going to be a bit of a weird one.
This is the second one, because the other one, what is it, Keiichi?
Oh yeah, Kenji as well.
He,
I did know about that one.
yeah.
But also, you know, his whole story was really easy to just it's just kind of dumb. This guy, oh god, yeah, he was the one where he can't, he's struggling to run anymore. Some of P3 social
Oh,
links, P3 is the only game I haven't replayed, so some of its social links are a bit fuzzy for me.
oh God. Is this guy? I don't like. I don't like his story at all. Like I don't like
Really?
it in the slightest. No, I
Go
think
on,
it's
I'm
genuinely
interested.
so good. No, I can understand that there's like a pride thing that he made a promise and he wants to like I get that. I get that is the point, but like it annoys me so much. Like it annoys me so much that a guy is the guy is hurting. Like he's like it's fucked up. He's getting worse and worse, but he still refused to tell anyone. He refused to take it easy. He just keep going and going and going
Well,
because he has to win first place in a race.
yeah, but
Because
that's the point.
ob- yeah,
The
and
reaction you're
obviously
having is the reaction you're supposed to have.
yeah, it's just so what the fuck is wrong with you? Like it just genuinely oh god, like I hate this character. I hate this character so much. Like this
Jeez.
is so dumb. Yeah, no, I just don't like it. I just
I mean,
why
that's up
why
to
is
you,
this
but like,
this
Jesus
so,
Christ.
this is so irrational. Like I genuinely hate that.
I mean, that's your prerogative. Like, I don't care that much. Like, his social link's just like fine to me, but like, Jesus.
No, no, like he's literally just making trouble for everyone else. Like nothing good will be accomplished. And to be honest, from someone training so hard that their leg is getting fucked up, how the fuck do they expect to win a race in first place when their legs fucked up from training so much? Like
Well,
it's
yeah,
just
but like,
dumb. It's
what you
just
seem to be misunderstanding that this is the point.
yeah, but like again, like you say once many times, like just because something is the point doesn't mean it doesn't suck. Doesn't mean the point doesn't suck.
I
And to me,
guess.
that this is it. Like
But the thing is,
I just
it's not like this isn't acknowledged. Like he,
no,
he
I know
says
that.
this and
It's just
I
genuinely
don't want to say gives up, but like comes to understand what you're
no,
saying. So that's kind of where I'm tripping up with you being so annoyed by it.
yeah. I just hate the entire concept. Like the entire concept for me is so dumb. Like I cannot imagine someone being so dumb as to the point of doing this. I imagine maybe
Wow.
there's someone that does it, but to me it's so dumb that I can't even connect to it on a basic story level. Like it genuinely just wronged me the wrong way. I don't know
I
what
mean,
to tell.
I respect that. There's nothing wrong with that. I respect that.
Yeah,
It's just kind of crazy to me. Like, okay. Um.
yeah. To me, he's definitely like E tier at least. Like
Right. What does Isaac
yeah.
think?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't do it right.
I've not done it.
So for me,
For me, he's
it's like
just Kenji's friend, and that's it.
right. So for me, it's a C tier. So let's just put him in. Let's just put him in D tier because like To be fair, DT is probably where
Yeah.
I put him actually, because I like him about as much as Kenji, namely not really that much, but he doesn't annoy me the way Kenji does. But like I don't know. Okay, Rio, she's
Rio.
really nice looking. I just want to point that out. Like, damn.
Yeah, she just looks like Yukiko with hair tied up, to be honest.
I mean, yeah,
But
very
Okay,
much,
so
but I don't know. It's just her vibe.
Rio has a pretty solid social link. It's not amazing or anything, but it's pretty good. It's very linked to Kenji because she has a crush on Kenji,
Right, I remember
but
hearing about that.
obviously he's after older women,
Right,
and she obviously finds this out, and it begins to stress her out a lot, and she ends up taking that out on the volleyball slash tennis team, and like horrendously overworking them to the
right. Yeah,
point
I
where
remember
they
hearing
end up
about it.
facing her.
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know
And
the very
eventually,
basics because I watched a review that talked about all the social
yeah,
links.
eventually they bring the team back together, and
Yeah,
they all get her to try and confess to Kenji. And he basically says at the end that he likes her as much as he likes ramen, which to the team means absolutely nothing, but she knows it's his favorite food, so she
right.
actually
So do
is
they
very
like
happy about that.
actually end up getting together, or like?
Um, I'm
probably
trying to
not.
remember.
Probably not.
Because I mean, there's nothing stopping them. Neither of them are romance options in that route, so like, there'd be nothing
Yeah.
stopping them.
I've got the wiki open just to check because I do not remember.
Bronze.
I'm gonna
Um,
assume not because he's the mutant, but yeah.
but but yeah, it's solid. I'd say C or B, probably B
Mm.
tier.
Uh,
It sort of
to
reminds
be
me
honest,
of
I
when you're describing it. It sort of reminds me of I think it was Ko that had a crush on Chie, wasn't it?
cool, yeah,
Yeah, it sort of reminds me of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, I should say that I know literally nothing about this character. Like the first time I ever hearing about her is from Isa telling us the story. But yeah,
Like I said, I knew some very basic details just from osmosis.
I knew nothing.
since I'm the only person who's done it, I think just putting her in B tier is fair.
Okay, like I said, she's very
Mm.
attractive. So
Yeah, she is.
okay, Chihiro. Insert
Oh
Chihiro
my
joke
god.
here. I like them. Despite how much I like a lot of Three's main characters, I'm kind of ambivalent on a lot of their social links. Like, there's going to be a couple we get to later that I didn't even finish.
Right.
That we're not there yet. I have completed all the ones we got to so far, but like, I'm kind of going to showcase a bit of ambivalence at some point. Almost just ended up cracking my head open because I'm dorking around on my chair like an idiot. The perils of recording. I'm not even drunk yet, and I'm already acting like an idiot. Oh god.
Chill out, chill out.
No, but joke, like bullshit aside. Yeah, I like this story.
Uh,
I feel like I should have more to say.
yeah,
I just don't.
uh, yeah. That is the P3 effect. I feel
Um,
for I mean of the characters, but
I mean, I'm going to talk a lot
she's
about
nice.
some later characters. It's just these ones so far. I just don't have as much to say about.
Yeah, it's just the classic story of a shy character learning to like come out of the show more and
Yeah,
stuff.
I do like sort of
Yeah,
the side effect of her like PDA should be publicly executed thing. Like the student council is full of crazy people. Like
yeah,
Mitsuru is Mitsuru, then Hidetoshi seems to want to install a police state, and then like Chihiro was like, "Yeah, we should execute people that kiss in public." Like we're lucky that Mitsuru does most of the student counseling herself, because like if she listened to them, the people of the island would
uh,
probably be in serious shit. Like,
yeah, but she's pretty cute, so gets a pass.
there's that. No, but yeah, so like
Yeah,
she's B tier, I'd say.
yeah,
I also do think the
yeah,
whole shy girl thing was done better with the chick on the FemC route because I know enough about her social link.
yeah. We'll get to her very soon.
yeah, but like overall, I just think she's like a good B tier character. We're about to have our first tier to hit triple, like 3 rows.
Yeah, as you can see by now, my opinion on P3 as a whole is a lot of B tiers and C tiers.
I'd also
And
like to point out that
yeah,
P3 got the most main characters in S tier.
True.
Like 3 of its main
I
cast are
mean,
in S tier compared to 2 for the previous 2 games.
yeah, but there is you girls. Like there is just you girls.
No, anyway. So
I have nothing to
next
do with that.
next is my personal my meme pick for my favorite social link in this game. While I think Hidetoshi's is a better story, this one is I love it.
Oh
It's
God, it's
it's Toriume. Sorry,
XD.
Maya.
Yeah,
Oh my
lemonade,
this social link is
lemonade.
such a good idea. One, I love the
Yeah.
presentation of using it's P2 characters in it for it. That's great.
Hmm.
Like that's just a cool bit of just showmanship. I just want to call that out as good. But like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god, the entire when I first heard the concept of this social link, I was like, "There's no way this is real. You're making this up." Like, it's so fucking funny. I love
No.
everything about the idea of this social link. Also, it's actually quite good. Like, normally the Sunday social links kind of feel like an obligation to me. Like, as much as the old lady social link is good and Yoshida's social link is good, it often feels like they have a lot of dead ranks. Every rank of this social link is memorable to me, to some level.
Mhm.
Not like massively, but like I like every rank of
Yeah,
this social link. Um,
yeah, yeah.
And overall, I just really like. It's just so fucking funny. They made a gamer girl social link, but it's the stuck up her own ass teacher. Like I just love it.
And,
It's so good. Also, who her character design? Who designed this? Put it in the same game as Yukari and didn't notice it.
Yeah.
She could so easily be her mother. Like what the
real.
hell? Like if they'd have made it so she was her aunt or something, because obviously Yukari's mother's like a plot point in her social link. Like if they'd have made it so she was like her aunt or something, it wouldn't bother me. But she's not. They're
Yeah.
completely unrelated, despite the fact that they look almost terrifyingly alike.
Yeah, no.
I mean, to be fair, if that's who
It's
Yukari's
definitely.
going to grow up into, I sort of understand why she's the standard romance option. But like,
Yeah.
but no, I just thought I'd call it
But
out.
yeah,
What the fuck? No, but she's like
again,
I think she's A tier. I
yeah,
really like her.
yeah, for sure. And again, just Rosa, you're editing this. Just make sure to flash again on the screen that one meme I sent the other day
Yep, I
of
will.
her
I
and
will.
Futaba.
I will.
I just gotta shout out the artist, of course, but that's good stuff. Like
Oh, it's such a good movie. It
I
is
love that.
absolutely hilarious. But yeah, so
Yeah, no, real.
she's a solid A tier. Okay, next
Yeah.
is oh god, what's her name? I don't know her name.
Sorry.
Naori.
Sorry.
Saori.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, she's
uh remember how I was talking about like Persona 3 for me having like all these B tiers and C tiers and no S tiers so far.
Hmm?
This is my contribution. I'm using my "fuck you, I love her" card already.
Well, do you want to let
She's
us
you
S
talk
don't
about
tier.
need
it
to,
before?
trust me. You do not
Huh?
need to. I want to put her in S tier.
Okay, okay, then let's save it.
Save the
Let's
card.
save it.
Like I'm getting outvoted. I mean, I like her, but like she wasn't going to be S tier for me just because I don't have the personal experience with it. But I was going to say A tier, so like we'll go
Yeah, she.
we'll go with S, and
Her story.
you can keep your card. It's definitely a great
Yeah.
idea for a story, even if it's got not really a downer ending, but like I
Yeah,
get it
it's
if that makes
complicated.
sense. I get it,
I really
but
like.
still,
I really like how realistic yet awful at the same time it is.
I see that. Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
she's just getting taken advantage of constantly, and there's so many rumors about her, and she just wants to friend. And because she's so desperate for a friend, people take advantage of her to make her reputation even worse.
she's very real.
And
Yeah,
it just keeps
And
going down and down the drain. And all
yeah,
she gets at the end is just before leaving the school, going on the the PDA and doing like an apology video, except like not apologizing, just explaining the truth and all that.
Yeah.
It's just
And
also the fact that
and I
like
think
the fact that she ends up having to move away in the end, and essentially everyone that
Yeah.
was fucking messing around with her just wins. Like, we, we are
I
like
think
we are personal friends with the law on this island. Can we not just gun them all down?
Yeah. There's also the
uh,
letter you get at the end,
Hmm.
where the reason she was sent to where we live in Zone 3 in the
Yeah.
first place, and it's just so sad.
I
Like
don't know
her
about that. You're
friend
gonna have to
died,
explain
and
that to me.
her friend died. Her parents blamed her for it and just told her to fuck off. Essentially,
Wow, like
it's just depressing.
just keep adding
Yeah.
on, bro. Like just keep slapping it on.
her family
just-
life sucks.
It's such an unfortunate life, but she ends it with holding her head high, even if
Her
there's
entire
no
life is
reason for her to
basically a
do that.
meme. Like she's basically
Her
just a joke in like the universe.
Yeah, no,
She's
and
like
I
a
think
punching bag character, except
yeah,
taken realistically.
yeah,
Yeah, like it's just kind of a bit sad to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
it
jeez.
is very sad. And I think the thing that's interesting is that like you can compare her to like a story such as Chihiro, where like like the introverted character needs to come out of her shell, or in
Yeah.
Saori's case more specifically, like a pushover type of character
Hmm.
needs uh, to come out of her shell and start speaking up for herself and to not
Yeah.
let people do that to her. But it's
Yeah.
also interesting because she's one of the very few characters that in her story, she like how do I say this simply? Like she learns that the lesson the hard way, I guess you could say. She
Yeah, it's
doesn't
just like
she gets fooled by people, I guess, and she gets taken advantage of, and she suffers the consequences even though it wasn't really her fault, and she pays the price for it. Like,
yeah,
and she
honestly,
doesn't
there's
get
it's kind of sad how her story is. Like, there's nothing really uplifting about the way her story ends, except she gets away from it.
I
it,
suppose
it,
there's
it,
the whole fact that you do become her friend, so she's not. That's like the main
Yeah, but
nice
even
part
then,
about
like
it.
she's
It's
still
just that
moving
you're
away,
there.
and
Yeah.
spoiler alert, you've got 6 months to live.
Yeah.
So
Which kind of
I
makes it
think
even worse.
yeah, I've
yeah,
just made it
I
worse for you,
think
haven't I?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the main thing is that it's
I'm gonna get to
realistic
that
in a
point
way.
again about you having like 6 months to live in a couple entries.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna
Uh,
get pretty heated in about a couple entries.
I think the main thing is that like which someone like me, which very heavily relates to her. I'm fucking carpet. I'm over everything, all the adjectives you can say to me. Yeah, I feel her very much.
I am an adjective.
Uh, yeah, uh, all that stuff like I feel that, and so her social link ending the way it does is less, or it feels less like a fable like many others do. Like and this is what they learned and they evolved as a
And it
people.
feels more
Like
like, yeah, fuck you. Your life
a
sucks.
cautionary tale. It feels more like a cautionary tale. Like she obviously learns the lesson and she will learn to stand up for herself, but it still sucks that this is what had to happen
If you
for
ask me,
her
the
to
lesson she
realize.
learned was, wow, sucks to be you. Get fucked.
Yeah, a bit, but also like don't trust people. Like don't readily trust people because they will lie and they will try to deceive you, and people don't always have your best interest at heart.
I mean, I guess, but
So
Yeah.
like, jeez, like,
no,
I
no, yeah, like she completely
sucks to be
trusted
her,
everyone.
like, really hard. Like,
It's
No,
what's that? What's that Vince promo? Sometimes life sucks, and then you die. I'll put in a clip.
yeah,
There's a
pretty
specific
much.
bit I'm referring to, but I'll put in a clip. Sometimes life sucks, and then you die. And like that's
But
just how
yeah,
it feels with her. Like, just damn, bro. Like, just do her like
no, yeah,
that, I guess.
no, yeah. She's a very somber story, I guess you could say.
Yeah, like
But
in the most cruel way. There's no joke here. She just kind of sometimes it
you know,
sucks to be you, I guess. But
I
yeah,
do
like
find it funny that this is the social link that replaces the one that you were going on about how funny it is. Like this is the one that
what?
replaces her.
Toriyama.
which
Uh,
one?
Yeah, which
the
Okana is she?
the she replaces the gamer girl teacher one.
Yeah, so
Oh,
she's the hermit. Wow, I actually didn't realize that one wasn't in the Feb Zero tab.
that,
Yeah,
that's that's interesting. Huh.
But
like
yeah.
the tonality is just completely different.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
rough. Okay, next one is for some reason in my head I call him Clock Boy. I have no idea why, but
Well,
I didn't
he's
finish
the
this one.
painter boy.
Yeah, he's a painter, but I didn't finish his social link. I have no comments to make. I think I did two
I
ranks of it, like legitimately. I just didn't get to it.
Yeah. Uh, it's sort of like the main thing with Yukiko, like which is also something I also can
No, I
relate
do
to
remember hearing about
in
it
a way.
actually, because like, isn't he like? I can't remember if he's like good
Yeah,
at painting but wants to be a doctor, or
yeah,
like if he's being forced to be a doctor but he wants to paint. It's something like that.
yeah. His father is a doctor. Maybe his whole family is full of doctors, something like that.
Yeah, and I
And yeah,
remember hearing that he
he
is actually a really good doctor, but like he doesn't want to do that. He wants to
he
like
was
paint and shit.
he loves art. Yeah, he loves art, and obviously he knows his stuff. Like obviously he's been studying for it for quite a long time because his father expected that of him.
Hmm.
And of course, he doesn't really like being a doctor. He doesn't. He has no aspirations towards it.
Yeah, but then doesn't
But
he
like,
have like an experience where he actually has to save someone's life
yeah,
at the school, and it like basically
yeah,
makes him
it changes
realize,
everything.
yeah, might as well do it.
Yeah, and it is definitely the classic thing of
God,
a
don't give me
person,
that too strong.
which is why I. What?
Oh, I'm just mumbling about my drink. Made it a bit strong.
Uh, uh,
Oh
which
dear.
is why I made the UK comparison because it's very much that thing of a person sometimes having the freedom to do something else. But sometimes you still go and you make the choice that was already laid out in front of you. It's
Right.
just nice that you are the one to make that choice and not forced. So
Yeah.
even though it feels weird to make the choice that was already expected, so long as you had the choice to make,
Yeah.
it's still fine. Like you can be happy either way. Like so long as you have your own reason for doing, which is a very nice sentiment. It's a very simple story, but yeah,
Okay.
it is
But yeah. So what are we thinking? Like B tier ish? Like
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
okay. Because I was thinking B tier. Like because B tier is the it's a fine confidant tier. Like that's where the
Yeah,
fine confidants are going.
I have
So
yeah,
no opinion since he's not in female character.
right.
He's not
Next
a
is
yeah.
Yuko. I do know her name because I constantly hear people talking about how there needs to be more art of her.
nice.
She is really hot,
I mean, yeah, but like her arc's kind of
which
tied
is a
in with
shame
the
since she's not in.
her arc's kind of tied in with the other guy. I do like it to have two social links where they are like it's not like in P4 where like it's a split social link. But they're two completely different social links. So you do both of them, but they're very intertwined. I like that.
Yeah,
Like that's just a bit of
uh,
cool writing I want to call out where like they appear in each other's social links, they're a part of it, and but at the same time they're still like not directly
no,
connected. Like they don't share a
yeah,
social link. I mean, I like that a lot.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, she's a very sweet girl. Like uh, she's definitely like the tomboy type, but she's very sweet when you get to
Mm,
spend more time with her. Like
very
and
much. I very much
the
like
whole
her story, even if it it's just I don't have a lot of strong things to say about it. I just really like it.
Yeah, it's just a sweet story. She's just
I
a
did
sweet
manage to
girl.
cram in and finish it at the very end. So even though I kind of rushed some of the last ranks, I did manage to finish it.
Yeah. She's not anything crazy, but she's also pretty underrated.
She's not in female main character again, so I have nothing to say.
Okay, so we're thinking
She's
another
just
B tier.
Rio's friend. Yes, she's hot.
Yeah, so we'll go with another B tier.
She
Okay.
feels like
And now I'm playing my
feels like
fuck you card. I don't feel like I need to play my fuck you card, but I'm doing it anyway just to make a point. Like oh my
So we're
god.
putting her in F.
I love her, Maiko. I love her so much. She's just like so. I love everything about her. She's so cute and she's so nice, and I just love spending time with her. Not there's nothing weird about it. Like I love her to death. I have my issues with her actual social link, or rather how it ends, but I love her.
yeah.
Like
I love her too.
everything about her is just amazing. Like she's absolutely perfect and has never done anything wrong in her life. And like I said, I like Nanako, but how most people feel about Nanako is how I feel about her.
Fair enough.
I would burn down the planet for her.
I think I feel that for both her and Nanako.
Yeah, but like
I just love her.
she's the number one for me. Like the only thing I like more than her is Sophia, literally. Like, and maybe Lavenza on some days.
Yeah, for sure. I don't feel as strongly about her, but yeah,
I just
she's
just
a very good.
adore, and like again, the way her social link ends, sort of like what we were saying with the other one of her name. I've forgotten her name already, but yeah, her. With how it's just kind of a bit of a downer ending. Like it's not as
Yeah.
obvious, but like
Yeah.
her dad kind of gets all the blame for it in the end. When her mum is just as bad, if not worse. Like, I'm sorry, the fact I don't really think either of them should have been able to stay parents. Like they are absolutely terrible parents. Like
Yeah, they are.
Like let me use an
But it
example
is.
for a minute. Like I'm going to use an example from wider media people might understand is Avatar. Like
Hmm.
you know, her dad is Zuko's dad, and her mum is Zuko's mum, who despite being the nice one is still a terrible parent.
Yeah.
Like well, to be fair, a lot of people don't even seem to understand that, but like
I suppose via by not doing anything to help, the nicer one still is as bad.
yeah,
For,
not
like,
only not
neglect.
interfering, but like it's especially with Maiko's parents, where while they definitely argue, it's not physically abusive. Like with Avatar, you can at least make the excuse that he fucking beat the shit out of her. But like with Maiko's parents, it's just. Also, I would like to point out that whenever Maiko mentions the actual abuse she's going through, it's always her mother. Her dad shouts at her, but her mother's the one that doesn't feed her.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to point that out. And also, like, yes, part of this is just me being an insufferable fanfiction nerd, but why can't we take care of it? Okay?
Right.
The fact that she runs
I
away from
wanted
her
to
literally
adopt her.
the fact that she runs away from her literally abusive parents and we help them get her back. That hurt.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
doing that hurt.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like one, we already literally take care of a child. Like they are like
True.
about the same age and would probably be very good friends. And they probably like it would probably help fucking poor Ken a lot to have a child his own age to talk to. And two,
I guess.
I want to stress it would be better than a mother who doesn't fucking feed her when she's in a shit mood.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
I feel
definitely.
really strongly about this one.
No, yeah, for sure.
Like,
I don't. I probably. I probably just forgot about the deal that the mom doesn't feed her. It's been quite a long time after all.
Mm.
But I guess like most people will react very strongly when when she tells that her dad slapped her and shit. Well, I guess my reaction was more mild, mostly because I got beat up quite often as a kid. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah,
that
that's the other
happens, I
thing.
guess.
It's like her parents literally hit her. Like that happens
Yeah.
in like timeline wise. That happens during the socialing, like not on screen, but like
Oh
between
yeah.
ranks. Her
Oh yeah.
parents literally hit her, and at no point does the police even get involved from the actual child abuse. I remind you that we are like friends with the only police officer on this island. Like, I'm convinced the rest of the police are cardboard cutouts, or it's an Officer Jenny situation where Officer Kadakara is just like, there's a lot of them. No, because we do see other police officers, and he bails us out from getting arrested at one point. But even then, like, I'm sorry, like this is where we play the Mitsuru card, and we bury them both in a shallow grave.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I play. We own your house. Get off my island.
Yeah.
Which I remind
I
you,
really wish we could have adopted her.
it's literally stated at one point that the Carisia Group owns all the property on the island. We could literally evict them from their house.
Yeah.
Get out,
What are you
bitch!
doing, my swamp?
What are you doing on my highly technologically advanced island? You're like, you can't come in here. This is my house. Not anymore. I'm turning this into a rose bed. Just knock down their house with a crane in the middle of the night. They have no legal recourse. Because Mitsuru not only owns their house, not only owns the island, but also probably owns them. Like, especially after her dad's dead and no one can tell her no anymore. Like, we probably own you. You probably signed something. Like, if you were born on the island in the hospital, you probably signed something that we own you.
May I ask a question about this socialite quick?
Go on.
Does one of the parents ask the protagonist out in the mail route?
No.
Because it was really weird. Because the dad like just asks you out.
What?
What, in the female route?
Micah, yeah, Micah's
What?
Pile
dad
it on,
asks
and
you
pile
out.
it on, and pile it on. So I think we need to take the Phantom Thieves out of retirement for one more Persona 5 spin-off where we change Maiko's family's heart.
Yeah,
And by change their heart, I mean do a Shido on them.
yeah.
Uh, very cool.
Okay. Anyway, now we're also on to my.
Micah,
Now we're also, let's move on before I gush about the funny child more, and let's talk about the Grim Reaper.
yes.
Yeah. The other funny child.
Ferris is fun. Like I don't really have much to say about him because he has 10 scenes, but like
Yeah.
I like him,
Uh,
but my opinion is
yeah.
colored by how much I like the other him.
Yeah. He's just the other mini.
Like he's like a solid A tier on his own. So like let's just put him there and start talking about Ryoji because we both want to.
Sure, I guess.
I mean, I'm assuming Isa
A
does.
seems a bit high.
Well, he's funny. Like it's the fact that this literal child in prison clothes is the personification of death. It sort of makes me
I
laugh.
guess.
But I suppose we
Yeah.
put Josei in B. So now let's put him in B because we put Josei in B, and I like
Yeah.
them about the same.
Yeah, B seems fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Ryoji, you take over because I have nothing to add.
Ryoji's just such a fun fucking character to me. Like he's just one, the fact that he's just like before he gets his memory back and he's just being like a normal person. He's just such an insufferable bellend in the best way. Like I just before I go on, does Isa have anything to add?
Uh, hmm.
Um, mm,
I don't know.
I do
uh,
I do want to add something funny about the FemC route is that he does have a romance option, but if you miss a single day of
Yeah.
his social link, you can't complete it. So like
I'm pretty
man
sure I did complete it.
Yeah, so like if you miss a single day of research, because you only have 10 days to do it. Oh no, I think you have 12 days to do it. But if you miss one day, it doesn't let you do it anymore. So like man was like interested in you, but like if you don't show immediate interest, he moves on. Like he moves on to the next tale to chess.
Yeah.
And I just find that funny. Like he doesn't wait for you. You speed up for him. Just found that funny. But no, I mean I just he's just so funny. Like even if he'd just been a normal fucking guy and not involved in the story, I'd still love him. Whenever he's on screen, I'm chuckling. He's just like so irreverently funny at all times.
I just I think he's definitely one of the characters I have the least to say, to be honest.
I
Uh,
just personally
I don't know.
think that there's just like, in my opinion, there's no one funnier in the whole game. Like, from a purely intended comedy standpoint. Like, if it makes sense, with Toriyumi, you're laughing more at a hilarious situation than you are at anything she actually says.
To me, it would be Yukari, but fair.
Well, Yukari's also funny, but most of Yukari's scenes are more serious than funny, whereas all Ryoji ever does is tell jokes. Like,
Yeah.
he just fucks around telling jokes. Even after he gets his memory back, he's still somewhat funny. And obviously his whole role in the story as the arbiter and all that. Like, I think I'd like him even more if I got to play the FemC route, because then it's even more tragic. Like,
Hmm.
imagine having to fight your own boyfriend to save the world.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be amazing. Like, because the one thing I do love is that the Nyx avatar has his voice. And also, some people who might not know this, he has the protagonist's voice.
Rosa,
Hmm?
would you fight me to save the world?
Maybe.
Either, would you fight me to save the world?
Yes.
Okay. Not hurt or anything. Just continue on.
Well, it's
Would you
different with
not
him
hurt?
because
Would
he
you not
wants you
fight
to,
me?
and he's telling you to. So, like,
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
it's more of a specific situation. But anyway, back to the point I'm making. Like,
Anyway,
oh god, I've stalled. I don't know. I just love every scene he's in, and if that's not S tier, I don't know what is.
if you want to, I just have no strong feelings, to be honest.
Okay.
I really love Ryoji's role in the plot,
Oh yeah,
and
his
obviously
whole like
having
existence in the story is
having
so cool.
yeah
Oh, yeah.
having to fight him and the whole having to make a decision for a certain time
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
all
for sure.
that.
I mean that's
It's
that's
really
all
That's
very
cool.
cool.
good. But like I said, I'd like the shit out of him even if he wasn't like,
Hmm.
even if he was just a
The,
normal
That's
the
fair.
thing
social
is,
link.
the thing is, that's the only thing I like. I actually found him quite uncomfortable most of the time.
Really?
Yeah,
I, I, I
because
didn't find him
he's like the like not
the perfect
Mineta,
character.
like the horny character, but like
Yeah.
Yeah,
just hit the boy version, just hitting on everyone,
I
and
guess.
and then just immediately moving on to the next one. It made me really uncomfortable,
I
It
especially
didn't make me.
since he flirts with you, because obviously
yeah.
you're the female protagonist.
I mean, I do know that
I
when I'm
thought
doing the FemC role, I mean, I know what I'm here, but like,
that's fair, but like
I
I
didn't.
wasn't into it myself.
Yeah. I didn't find
no,
him
you
uncomfortable,
don't
but
like being pursued. You like pursuing, as we know.
yeah, I didn't find him uncomfortable, but I also didn't find him that funny. He was just kind of there. Like for me,
I
he
mean,
was. Yeah.
I like being pursued, but like he's pursuing everyone.
Do you not like that? Don't you
Uh.
have like
Well,
12 girlfriends?
that 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 is besides the point.
Okay, anyway, moving on from our personal lives to fanboy, not
Wait, where are we
fanboy.
putting him?
Oh, I put him in Esther.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on from from him to fanboy, not fanboy, but fanboy.
Yes.
Uh.
That's me
Andre.
being annoying intentionally. It's Bebe, innit? Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
do you girls
I didn't finish. I didn't
as
even start his link. I don't think, or I might have done 2 ranks of it, but like I've got nothing.
I
do
did
you
do the
girls
whole thing.
do
Hmm?
you girls as English women do you have any feelings about the French boy?
No.
No, I don't really find French people and French accents that attractive. For me, it's Italian.
Okay, no, I was just doing a English French joke,
No,
but
I get that, but
I did.
I
I
think
did.
uh,
I did definitely end up liking Bebe more than I thought I would, but I don't think it's amazing or anything. It's a fun social
it.
link.
It's
I
an
think
it. It's a
I think
creature.
It's
I think I think the voice sells it. The voice,
oh yeah, true.
especially the new voice, the reload one,
I've not heard the reload one.
and even more especially if you like between like the first time he asks you what is a good way to say bye to a friend, you choose the option "I'll be back." Every single time he does the voice and he does the Schwarzenegger accent. So you say bye to him and then he's like bye bye. I'll be back.
I'll be back. I can't do it. I'm not cool.
It's genuinely amazing, and like he's just such a pure boy, and the whole thing about him loving Japan so much that he wants to stay, and just everything about him is just very wholesome. It's just a very
And
wholesome and
then
cute thing.
yeah, and then it's really sad how he's forced to leave because of
Yeah,
his aunt dying. But then
yeah,
How
he
dare his
promises
aunt
to
die and get
return.
in the way of him and his boyfriend?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's bad. But I think it's at least A tier for me personally.
I'd say B since I just think it's solid, which is the and that's the solid confidant tier. So I'd say B.
Okay.
I'm not sure where are we putting them then? B or A?
I'm good with B, but like I said, I haven't really done it, so
I guess B.
Yeah.
okay.
This
President
Ah,
motherfucker,
Monica, he's awesome and amazing and has never done anything wrong, despite doing everything wrong.
he does
this
so many
motherfucker.
things wrong,
S tier, I love
but
him.
he's cool.
He is the Chad.
Oh god.
I'm not I'm not sure if I'd push for S tier,
It's a
but
meme pick. Let me know.
I'd
Put
say
Koromaru in the S tier. No,
Uh,
I, I
A
I'd
tier.
probably say
But
A tier.
A
Yeah.
tier. I like the arc he goes through from a serious standpoint. Like it's an interesting direction to go, where like he sort of learns to be a little less shitty, but he doesn't become a nicer person outwardly. He
Yeah.
just kind of he sort of goes through a mini
uh,
Scrooge McDuck without ever really going through Scrooge McDuck at the same time.
Yeah.
I also like
I
him
don't.
more because I played 4 and 5 first. So like I've already learned to
Yeah.
memetically love him. Like he was already a meme love for me, and then I actually get like him as a character too,
Hmm.
instead of just a
I,
funny
I
thing.
don't even. I don't even know where I rank this guy. He should be realistically be lower or higher than wherever he ends up. I feel. I have
But
no fucking clue.
for meme reasons, he's going in at least A tier, and you guys don't get to argue. Um,
I'm happy with A
okay,
tier
it's the
for sure.
monk next. I did his entire social
He,
link, and you know what? I didn't care. Like, I'm going through the
I
entire
care.
thing, and I just, for some reason, it just didn't click with me.
I quite like it actually.
Okay, then you talk about it for a bit then.
Yeah, I just think it's nice. Like he's this whole like grumpy person that like he acts like even though he's a monk he doesn't give a shit about anyone and he acts like this big tough guy, but clearly he cares about you because uh, every time you like stop talking he tells you to never come back again because
Mm,
obviously this is not a place where a kid should be.
yeah.
And to be honest, it's just nice to see like he come around to you and eventually be encouraged to try to reconnect with his family
Hmm.
because like especially after all the time he spent like basically wasting his life away to feel inspired by this kid to want to see his son again because you remind him of his son. So
Yeah, I mean his
the,
social
the,
link was like cool. I wasn't that invested. Like
Yeah, I thought it was.
personally.
Yeah, I think I have the same opinion.
uh,
Like this was the social link I did when none of the others were available at the
Well,
time.
for me, it was like that, but specifically because it's a night social, like you don't have many of them, so hence why I got it
Yeah,
done when I didn't get others done. But I just like
yeah.
it was always more of an obligation, sort of like what I said about the stepmom from P4. It's just kind of like, even though I did the whole thing, I just never cared that much. I liked it enough, just never that much.
yeah, I don't know. I thought it was way better than I actually expected, to be honest.
Okay, so let's say C tier
Especially-
instead of D tier. If it were me, it would be D tier, but because Luna
Yeah.
likes it, let's say C tier.
I'd definitely
Yeah,
go for theatre.
It's actually
Yeah.
the first confidant to hit
yeah,
C tier, if you like.
yeah,
Okay, next is the other running guy. I just, yeah.
yeah.
It's another one. I
Who's this
did just
guy?
about manage it. In fact, I got its last rank done on the last free day you get. I just,
Hey,
Wait, this guy's not in the female route.
yeah,
Never mind.
he's not in the female route. But his
I
story is like good, but it's also very. It's not really much to it. Like, I like that he's a social
I
link
don't even.
introduced by another social link. I always like when that happens. But
Yeah. I don't even have anything to say about him. Like he's a guy.
mm, C tier,
And
then I
he
think
runs. I
just
remember.
just because of how much we have so little to say, I reckon he's C tier.
I mean, I would argue deep, but like,
Yeah, okay. We can put him. We can put him with the
yeah,
other dudes. Lots of dude
we have
social links
nothing.
going in D. Mostly because I think it tends
Yeah,
to be. I think it tends to be Isa that argues for social links being ranked higher, and she hadn't done these ones. So
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, this fucking twat. F tier. Moving on. We're not talking about it.
uh,
Done.
yeah.
It is
No.
the only social link where the social link actually becomes a worse person by the end.
Yay!
So there's a fucking incredible milestone. Fuck him. Moving on. Now we get to talk about Bookman.
He's not. He wasn't even in the female one.
Which one?
The one we just finished doing.
Yeah,
The
he's
fat
just
guy.
he sucks. Fuck him. Moving on. Akanari. Akanari's awesome. Like talk
Akanari
about
is awesome.
whiplash. He's so fucking. I just, I'm not as enamored with his like some people like I said with the old lady social link. People moon over this fucking social link, and I like it, but I don't like it that
Mm.
much. I do love it though.
Yeah.
Like
I
also
I
Yeah.
still, I do.
people crack jokes about
Mm,
how like he's kind of getting forgotten, but I like to point out that in P4 there's a really subtle reference you might not get. Nanako is being taught his
no, yeah,
book in school,
yeah.
Oh,
and Minato's
that's
ass is
cool.
a door
I didn't
forgotten by
know that.
humanity. Who won?
Exactly.
I just want to point that out.
No,
Look, between him and the protagonist, one's book is getting taught in school, and the other one's a door. But no, Akanari is awesome. And listen, if you play Persona 3, you don't need me to explain that Akanari is good to you.
True.
So like
oh
A
yeah.
tier.
True.
Moving on. Okay,
Like,
next.
the,
Oh, you wanted to say something?
no, just very quickly that like in a game where basically every character deals with death in a way or another, having a character that is knows they're gonna die.
Yeah,
They are literally come to terms with the fact and they learn to accept it. It's just very natural, but it's still quite sad. But yeah.
yeah. Okay, now for something completely different. Now for Pun Man, also Murder Man.
Uh,
I love Akutsuki. He's such a
uh,
fucking meme.
uh,
Like, even once he
uh,
starts being like a crazy, like, evil man, he's an evil man that does evil things evilly. I just still like him. Like,
He's cool. He's so good.
He's so fucking
Uh,
he's so fucking corny and shitty that I just love him. He just brute forces your way into
I
being funny. Okay, well we'll let you rag now because you clearly want to rag on him.
I think he's occasionally funny, kinda.
He's really funny.
Glowing recommendation
I
then.
mean,
I think he's occasionally funny, kinda.
your your entire sense of humor spans is
It's just I just love how dumb and corny and unfunny he is. Like I love it
He's
so
really
much.
funny.
And then
is
once he turns evil, well turns evil, he was always evil, but like once he starts playing up the evil, he still somehow fucking works. Like he's just so
uh,
this guy is he's just this ultimate fail man.
yeah, no, I don't know.
Like even
I
when he
don't
drops the act and starts trying to be like a serious villain, he sucks at it because he sucks.
know. He's like your poor man's Adachi, to be honest.
I mean, kind of. Like that's not an unfair point, but I also just like up until his villain reveal, I find him just great.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like
I never
just love how fucking dorky and shit he is.
I never cared to be honest. But
I'd say like B tier. Like despite how much I'm gushing about him, I don't really like him that much. But like he's a solid good character. So like I'd say B tier.
I think I'd say A tier, but B
I
seems
think
like
I say
more like
I think I think I say C or D, so B is good.
Yeah. Okay.
B seems like
Now
the
on to Mitsuru's dad. Mitsuru's dad is really funny for the specific reason that he is completely the opposite of what he looks like. Like I just find the absolute hilarity of the conversation he has with Mitsuru, where he's like telling her that she needs to stop like pushing away her team and being a massive pain in the ass to work with. And it's just so funny that Mitsuru is getting the teamwork speech from a man that looks like that. Like she's getting a
You
really
had to leave.
impassioned speech about the importance of teamwork from a guy that looks like that. And I find it
He
so
looks
funny.
like he commanded a genocide.
Like he looks like he does. He looks like he's about to order genocide.
Mitsuru, why don't you understand the importance of the power of friendship?
You're literally getting a power of friendship speech from this dude. And that's like he goes on to give a general speech to everyone about how important it is to trust each other. And it's so fucking funny. I don't know, it's such a simple joke. It's barely even a joke, but I just love it. Like everything about it is
Yeah,
so utterly hilarious to me.
It is funny.
yeah.
Uh,
But where does he go though?
I still think he's like, even though he is alive on screen, he sort of falls into the same category as Wakaba and Kasumi, where they're like, I think we put them in B tier, didn't we? And he's a similar sort of
B or
character
C?
for me, where even though he gets like actually comparing him to Wakaba is a good comparison because even though he gets screen time, it's not really substantial, so it's really just kind of a vibe. All you really get from him is a vibe. And as much as I like the
Yeah,
vibe, it's not really a glowing recommendation of character.
yeah,
So
um,
let's say a B tier.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And now we talked about Aegis being the personification of autism, but now
Yeah,
Now.
yeah. Uh, don't do drugs, kids.
stay in school or you'll end up like this fucking clown. Oh, Elizabeth's
Do not
just
share this video, or she will appear in your room at 3 a.m.
oh man. I think we can all agree that she's S tier, can't we?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yes, we can.
everything about her is just She's like the only character that I never want her to stop talking in the entire game. Like even characters I like, sometimes I'm just like, okay, shush for a minute, love, like, please. But with her, I never want her to stop talking.
To be honest, I think Elizabeth is probably the biggest double Persona 3 has over the other games.
Maybe.
People talk about the story. I'm like, okay, I can see the appeal. I go back and forth. We talk about the characters. I'm not that big fan of the characters, and then they bring up, oh, Elizabeth, and okay, it does happen.
She is just like everything about her is just perfect. Like
Yeah,
I have
she's a
no
fucking force of
complaints.
nature.
I do prefer
Exactly.
Lavenza just from a very personal level. But like,
Mood,
pardon?
mood.
Yeah, but like Elizabeth is just so funny. I do wish we got more of Lavenza, like as in doing her job though, because she's got a similar vibe in Strikers, and
Yeah,
especially the third semester. They have a very
yeah, yeah.
similar like fail boss vibe,
Mhm.
like she the ultimate
Yeah, pretty much.
failure girl boss.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, so she's amazing, and then we'll let Isa talk about Theodore, and then I need to go. I need to quickly run off for a second.
I don't know
Uh,
anything about Theodore Hun.
Oh, did you not use him?
No, I used to listen.
Okay.
Or Margaret.
uh, so ironically, I think I'm the only one who knows him even a little bit.
Okay.
I only saw like glimpses and scenes of him, mostly from the Q
Yeah, the
games.
cues.
Uh, yeah, I didn't watch the gameplays of them, but I seen like highlights.
Hmm.
And to be honest, his dynamic with Elizabeth especially is the funniest shit ever. Like they're basically like brothers, and she treats him like shit for no fucking reason. Like she is so fucking funny.
Pog.
Like she'll be like she'll be like introducing herself. Uh, Hello, I am Elizabeth. And this is Theo, but who cares?
Right. I mean, we
She'll
we talked
constantly.
about we talked about Elizabeth being like a failure girl boss. He's just a failure.
Yeah, and he doesn't even like he doesn't even react. Like he just takes it all. Like he's
Just
just a
like,
very sweet
yep,
boy.
this is my life.
Yeah, and like it's so fucking sad because he didn't even do anything. She's just
A
yeah.
twat.
So I think that he deserves at least an A just because of how much I enjoy. Like I've seen a bit of him as well, like by himself, and he just seems like very nice. He's definitely not as
Yeah.
chaotic as her. But
Someone's
he's
got to
still
come
nice.
last. Is the thing. Like with the
But
Velvet
but but
Assistants,
still,
someone's got to come last.
I mean, to me that's easily Margaret. But
I guess.
I digress.
But Margaret has the
Uh,
advantage
he,
of being
he,
hot.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not as big on guys as I am with girls, but he's hot too.
Hmm.
But yeah,
No, but yeah.
but yeah.
Anyway, so what do we say? C tier, B tier.
I mean, at least B,
He
at least B.
Okay, let's put him in B tier. Lots of sort of side characters in B tier.
Yep,
Okay,
that
so
is what I
next
said.
we're going to talk about.
Oh, oh,
We are back on. Right, we're back. So now we have to talk about these three.
Jesus, man.
Takaya is,
Diva.
from what I've heard, flat as a board in the original, but because they added a
Yeah,
lot of weird extra scenes with him in Reload, you get a lot more perspective on him.
yeah, no. He, speaking for experience, I had no thoughts about him whatsoever, other than he was the bad villain guy, and he is evil when
He does
he
evil
wants.
things evilly. No, but the backstory of Strager is interesting. I already kind of talked about it with the fact that the ragtag group of rebels is the villains, while the the strike force funded by the big company are the heroes, but like Takaya himself, having played through Reload and seen his extra scenes, has a really interesting perspective. As long as you acknowledge that he's full of shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Takaya is one of those people that isn't right about anything, but is interesting to debate with.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't have that much to say about him, but yeah.
yeah, he's an interesting villain, like because he's the villainous force for most of the story. Um, and he's an interesting villain in the way he opposes the protagonist. Obviously, the Jesus metaphor with both of them is a bit on the nose, but he does add an interesting dynamic. And like
Yeah.
again, just getting to get more of him on screen in Reload and getting to have him have scenes where he's not doing a grandiose villain speech really made me just appreciate the casual. Whenever you see, I noticed it a lot when you first see scenes of the three of them hanging out in some abandoned building during the dark hour. But like, it's an interesting debate, at least for me. Whenever you see a character like them, like with the vibe they have, you always kind of have to wonder, genuine or not, because like sometimes with the whole like, oh he saved me, that's why I follow him type of character, the villain actually does care about them, and sometimes they don't. And I think with Takaya, I don't know if I'm just missing something, but I don't think that question is really answered. Like, he kind of seems to care, but sometimes he blatantly doesn't at the same time. His actions are very contradictory. He has very complex motives. No, but I do think something that's interesting is like Takaya's whole philosophy of letting go of like all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it's so interesting with Jin, especially. Like, as much as Jin is kind of a fucking joke, this is one thing I do think about, and it's really interesting, is that Jin can't follow this philosophy of Takaya's, despite wanting to, because he's too attached to Takaya.
Right.
It's acknowledged in game that like Chidori's obviously her issue is her attachment to Junpei. Um, But the whole point is that while Jin doesn't care about his own life, he doesn't want Takaya to die, so he can't use the full extent of his powers because it's a trick where like Takaya doesn't have to use his evoker because he doesn't fear death. Like, and I do think they missed an opportunity for a scene where the protagonist doesn't have to use their evoker either, and it's just they've just kind of been pretending they do. Because like in the final fight, I think that would have been a cool scene where
Fair.
like with Takaya, it's less like he doesn't value his own life, but he also doesn't value anyone else's life because he probably doesn't care. Like there are scenes where he seems to care, but like how genuine it is up to you. But like he probably doesn't care.
Yeah.
And that's what it is with him. But like from when you're talking with Ryoji as the protagonist, and with once with the Nyx avatar especially, you get the impression that the protagonist doesn't really. I guess it comes from having technically been dead for 10 years, but they don't really acknowledge death. And I just think that's an interesting. This is actually touched on in some of the conversations with Takaya, where he seems to kind of realize this. Where like, while the protagonist obviously has people they care about, they don't. To them, there's no real difference between life and death. So I don't know. I think that's just a missed opportunity for a scene. But yeah, overall, Takaya is an effective villain, if not a hugely compelling one. And I feel like he suffers being in the series he's in and being directly compared to both Adachi and Akechi because he doesn't have the stage presence they have by design.
I feel like
But because of how similar they are, it sort of
Takaya.
weighs on him.
Yeah, I feel like Takaya is more like the personification of an idea rather than
A
a
person,
character
yeah.
himself. If that
And
makes sense. Yeah.
that's very intended. But yeah, overall, I like him specifically because it's such a fresh air after the very aggressively present Akechi and Adachi. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like, they are in the game a lot, whereas Takaya is only in the game when he's explicitly trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Again, in Reload they added a few extra scenes where you actually are talking, but the point is the same.
Yeah.
Like, he only shows up when he wants something from you.
Yeah, although I think that only works like in a positive way from Reload and such, because in the original he's just genuinely there's very little to like to get attached to him. Like
No, I
I
have heard
don't know.
that, and maybe this is partially me having not been like there. Maybe that's part of it. Where my only
Yeah,
experience with him is that apparently he is significantly improved in Reload.
yeah.
Right.
So maybe that's part of it. But I personally just like the comparison and the difference more than anything else. Like, I just think it's really refreshing and compelling after, like I said, how bombastic and omnipresent both Akechi and Adachi are.
Right.
That
Really like
I just want to
Takaya
compliment it.
himself.
Yeah, I'm still thinking like C
Uh,
tier. Like that's it. If that makes sense, that's my high pick. But like, still, I feel like that's higher than most people would put him. So
I think I'd probably go B, maybe A, but probably B.
wow, you actually rank him higher than I do. I mean, I still put him C tier, but like,
Yeah, like I definitely enjoyed Takaya more than Adachi and Akechi.
wow, especially because you didn't play Reload. Wow, that's a hot take.
what the
I've,
fuck?
I've never connected with the Persona villains that much in
wow,
general,
there's a
but
hell
like
of a take for
Takaya,
Twitter.
Takaya, Takaya definitely reaches out a bit more than the others, if
I
that
can
makes
feel it.
sense.
The power of the comment engagement. No, but like, it's just how you feel. But yeah, so C tier, we reckon.
Yeah.
Okay, and now
I mean,
Jin.
yeah.
Oh, Jin.
Fucking
Never
nerd.
before have I more wanted to shove a character in a video game in a locker, and I love it. Jin is complete shit, but that's one, clearly intentional, and two, really funny. Also, the fact that his name is Jin brings me such joy for reasons you guys won't understand.
Fair enough.
It's a Xenoblade reference. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, so to give you the really short version, Xenoblade basically has its own strag. I actually almost call it its own Torna, which is what it's called. And well, it's sort of got its own Takaya in two halves, but the one with the aesthetic, like the stone cold badass, with the white hair and like the troubled backstory, is called Jin. But, and this is what makes it funny, they also have a character with blue hair who's a massive fucking dork and idolizes one of those leader characters who's just like Persona 3's Jin. So when I was first playing Persona 3, I was buckling every time they're on screen because I was like, oh no, it's just Akos, but his name is Jin. And I just lost it. Like, that's a personal thing. So like, don't get me wrong, Jin, he sucks. He's not good, right? But
Yeah.
I love how much he sucks. Like, he's so
I
bad
don't really.
that I loop back around to kind of liking him. Because again, you just want to shove him in a locker, and he's one of the villains, so that's honestly kind of a good thing.
I guess.
I don't. I don't really have much to say on Jin. For me, with the villains in Persona 3, he's just like the other one,
Yeah, no,
if
I
that
get
makes
that.
sense.
But like
Yeah,
my favorite bit was when you get to fight him alone. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hold you off, so like Takaya can do what the fuck else he's doing." And I'm just like, "Oh yes, we just get to bully you." Like I just imagine them just surrounding him, just like ready to just fucking beat up on him and shove him in his fucking locker. I keep making that reference, but it's funny, so fuck you.
uh, honestly, like you don't get to look that, you don't get to look like that and act cocky. Like no,
Yeah,
fuck no.
the green jacket and the orangey sunglass lenses are not helping you, mate.
And the hair, like no,
Yeah,
none of this, none
you're
of this.
just yeah,
No.
you're just great, mate. Like you're the perfect punching bag.
And his voice is annoying.
Well, yeah, but
So
like,
yeah,
so yeah, like he's like a D
he
probably.
he
I kind of want to put him in
he's
C for
Yeah,
the
the
meme and to piss people off, but he's probably D.
he's
D or
the
E, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay, let's go with D, just to be yeah. Okay,
now for the real interesting one.
now goth lady.
I love
Jesus, that
Chidori.
noise. Did you hear that
Rosa, could you
noise?
dress? Rosa, would
Yeah.
you dress like that for me?
I mean, if I could find that for any like cheap, probably, but like
Okay, I
Jesus
stopped.
Christ. It's like I haven't made you make those noises yet. Like down boy, fucking hell.
I, all I can say is that remember when I said in the non-existent video of the rating the of characters
Yeah.
that as much as I sort of enjoy Celeste's character, the main reason why I rate her so highly
Hmm.
is because her style just does it for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing here, you know.
I get that.
Yeah, I, yeah,
I mean she's definitely yeah.
yeah.
Like I'll be
But
the
in
first to
Lolitas,
tell you, she's definitely yeah.
yeah. But as a character by herself, yeah, she's definitely still like the most interesting one of the group because
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
she like it takes quite a lot to get to her like because even though like she spends time with Junpei and all that jazz and it's very cute seeing that side of him and she being even before she completely turns, she's already like more emotional than she usually is around
Yeah.
anyone else.
Yeah.
But then you see her reveal that she was still working for Shrega and she still intended to betray them. And
Hmm.
then Junpei is like so hurt by that. Like, was that all a lie? Like, were you just fooling me all this time? Like,
Yeah.
and and it's genuinely heartbreaking because as much as I don't love Junpei, like he really has something. He really has something going, and just seeing how much he changed her life around. Like she was a fucking she was a fucking murder. Like she was in a murder group. And even still he managed to turn her life around. Like it's just a very good story. Like and of course, naturally, as I don't enjoy Junpei that much,
Hmm.
he still gets bumped up because of this storyline.
Yeah.
Her, yeah, she naturally gets bumped up quite a bit.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah. I mean I love her. She's just absolutely like
this take note, everyone. This is how you do a Kudere character. You do a Kudere character well, like because I usually don't care much for them, like the whole character that is very cold and distant and
hmm.
not very emotional. To me, that's almost always boring. This is how you do it well. Like, she's just great.
Yeah, I mean, do we think S tier or only A tier? Because I think personally for me she's A tier,
S.
but like I won't push.
I'd definitely push
Is-
S. I love Chidori.
Okay,
What?
we're saying with Joy, do we think? Oh, for fuck's sake, fucking. I think with
Isa,
Chidori, do
what
we
do you think?
think they're saying S?
S. I said S.
Okay, sure.
Sorry,
Dude,
I can't tell if you're doing a bit.
I
No,
don't know what's going on.
you say they, right?
We said S.
S.
Well, she said S.
Oh, S.
I said for me it would be A. But if you guys are gonna say S, I'm not gonna push.
I mean, sure. Like, why not? There's barely any S from my part. Just take it for MP3. Just yeah, take what you can get.
You know what?
MP3
Let's
guy.
just say S and move on. Right,
Yeah.
Fuka's weird friend. I kind of like their arc, but they're what like I kind of like it, but they're whatever. Do we really care?
Uh,
I do.
Okay,
I have
I can agree.
absolutely no good reasons, but I do.
okay. So we won't put them in the
Uh,
Who Are You though. Then tier.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I kind of have a week for the bully characters, the
Yeah,
bad
same.
girls, that shit. Uh,
And I also
yeah.
like I also have a really big weakness for bullies who are redeemed, and she certainly is.
Yeah,
Because
I see
Yeah.
that.
her and Fuka get
Ooh,
really
holy shit.
close.
I definitely ship the two of them.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah.
I can't consciously give her like A or anything, but I definitely want to push for at least B
Oh, this is
Yeah.
this is great. This is
Natsuki.
a great meme to go in the edit.
Hmm?
What-
Sorry, I'm scrolling Reddit while you guys talk, and I just found a meme. How each Persona team picks up new members. P4. They were a victim of the killer, and they've confronted their shadow. They can help us find the truth. That's my Teddy impression. And then for P5 is this person. I'm not gonna do a more impression. This person has been mistreated by society and fights for justice and truth. They'll make a great Phantom Thief. And then P3. I found this guy eating trash at Polonia Mall. LMAO. Also, he has the potential. Ikutsuki's the best. But it's true, isn't it? Like, it just happens
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
everyone happens to be completely involved with the plot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Natsuki B,
Yeah.
I say.
Sure. That sounds good.
B it is.
Okay. Okay, who the fuck is this guy? Um.
Uh,
That sure is a character.
I actually
no
don't know
idea.
who that
There's
is.
must be a teacher
But
because all the teachers are here.
It
I mean,
might
that's a
be.
student.
That's clearly a student. Yeah.
Isn't?
Well, you know what? If we actually don't know who they are, we have a we don't know who you are tier. So
Yeah. Just
Oh, he just asked out Igus and the female protagonist, but that's his only role.
right. Okay. Well, the teachers I also like. Some of them have more defined personalities, but they're still they're background
who cares?
characters. They're background characters.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
God, it goes all these
The,
these are all teachers, aren't they? All the way to the cop. These are all teachers.
yeah.
yes,
The
they
last
are.
teacher is hot.
Oh yeah, but like, that's not the point. Um, obviously,
Are we
Kodakawa is
effing them
cool.
all then?
Yeah, I put them all in, but who are you though? Which is the tier we have for like these sort of characters.
Oh yeah, I just have that as F still. I never changed the name of it.
Yeah.
I guess I just put them all in there.
Sure.
Okay, obviously Kodakawa, I like him. He's a fun character. He's not much. He's just kind of there, but I like him. He's a fun character, and I like the role he has. They don't have the shopkeeper from the antique store in Reload in here, but like I feel the same about them. Where like I like how they actually gave these like shopkeeper characters roles in the story without making them confidants. Like in P5, they make them confidants.
Yeah.
With like Takemi and EY, but like I like having these characters without making them central characters in the confidant loop. I don't know. I'm saying too many words for a character. I just like him, but he is going in one of the actual tiers. I think just like C tier because I like him
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's a bro. Okay, who the fuck is this? Anyone else got
I
any
think
idea?
I
Wiki,
think
tell me who this guy is.
no. I think that's Yukari's dad. I believe so.
Okay, but who are you though? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He is a guy that appears in a flashback, I think, or a video or
Yeah, but
something.
like
He is.
Yeah, he
Oh no,
died.
yeah, I
He
think
died.
yeah. So, but even then, for me, he's. But who are you though?
He is like
Yeah,
integral to the plot, but like
yeah,
most of it is just
yeah.
like off screen.
Yeah, just put him in C. Yeah, he's fine. He tried his best for her. Yeah.
Then we got Catherine, the
Um,
Catherine
Vincent.
character.
yeah,
Vincent is interesting
he's great.
because like, do we rate him as a character in Persona, which is nothing,
I mean,
or
we
do we
ranked
actually
Hatsune
rate
Miku.
him? Yeah, but or do we rank him as a character in his own separate game?
We ranked Hatsune
Well, I've
Miku
not.
as Hatsune Miku. So I think you guys, if you guys
Yeah.
have played Catherine, then like,
Nope. I have not.
I know the story.
Oh, no.
Again, I only watched the playthrough. But yeah.
yeah, but like if you've, for you, that's
Go
playing.
right
So
ahead.
Yeah. The should I say what I think
Yes.
about him
Yes.
that way? Okay.
Yes.
He's a very he's a very interesting character, and it takes quite a while through the story for him to get any consistent at all because he doesn't. He's not reliable in the slightest. Like he kind of annoying sometimes, to be honest, because how little he thinks through, like make before making terrible choices. But yeah, I think in his game he gets like at least like a B or a C, even though he's the protagonist. Yeah, but
Should
here
we
I
just
don't know.
put him? Should we just put him with the other protagonists then?
Yeah, go. Yeah, let's do that.
okay,
Protagonist tier.
okay, Metis. I haven't played the
No
answer
clue.
yet, but
I've seen the gameplay of that, but I literally remember zero. I know she exists. I remember nothing at all about her.
hmm.
Is it?
I haven't done the answer. I don't know who this is.
Well, well, that's that, I guess.
Who the fuck are you two?
Fuck, this is a bit of a deflate again to the tier list, but I haven't played the answer yet. She is good. She's funny. I've seen the trailer. She's funny in it. Um,
Okay,
and yeah,
sure,
Butterfly.
sure.
Let's put her in the protagonist tier.
Yeah, that's where I
Yeah,
put him.
yeah.
Right, so got to do a little bit scrolling over the tier list. Here it is.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, God, this is over. This project has been our entire week.
Yeah. Oh
But
my God,
Jesus,
we can finally make out in the closet.
I can
Oh,
finally rest and watch the sun rise on a grateful universe. Now my opinions are out there for the world to see. Um, okay, well
that,
let's do a bit of
yeah.
funny to end the video. Just because I think that was a bit of a deflating ending. So, who is your favourite character? The tiers aren't ranked, but who is your favourite character?
In all of Persona.
Yeah, like at this point, it's
I,
everyone.
I think I
Oh
mentioned
God.
it earlier, but it's Aegis.
Right. I do feel a
Minus.
bit bad about them
Very.
not getting the S tier. Oh, they did get the S tier, didn't they? Yeah, here they are. So
Yeah,
I'll look a
I
pop up on.
I used my card.
I'll have a pop up on screen for everyone's like favorite character.
It's it's hard because like I have all these characters that I love so much, like all the waifus and characters like Sojiro or Zenkichi. So instead, I'll go with the wild card and just go with the Dutch. Like fuck this guy, he's my favorite, I guess. Yeah.
Should we do a favorite per game?
We'll do that in a second, but
Uh,
let's do
Like,
overall favorites first. Just like I like to do
fair
stuff like
enough.
this. So I think my favorite is a really close tie between probably Mitsuru and Sophia. I like redheads. It turns out. No, but jokes aside, it's a really close tie between them. Where like Mitsuru is probably the better character, but like my attachment to Sophia is really deep. So
To me, it's not even close between the two of them if you were to compare. But fair.
yeah, but you know. Okay, so next let's do least favorite character.
Oh God. Ah.
I mean, mine is Morgana. We've established that already.
Teddy.
Yeah, and yours is Teddy. We also established that in the last video. Um,
Uh, I don't know. Like I don't think about least favorites often.
well, I suppose I chose it just because for
Uh,
us it's a really knee jerk. Like, yeah, it's that character.
uh, uh, I'm scrolling through them like uh, uh, you know what? It's a Dutch. Fuck a Dutch. We all hate a Dutch over here.
Okay, so Itachi's the favorite and the least favorite, which is honestly just like
Exactly.
him. It's just like him. Okay, so this
Yeah.
is a bit of a weirder one, but what is a character you wish was better, that you wish you could like more?
Oh God.
I'm
Oh,
just trying to wring some extra content out of
that's
this, for fuck's sake. Play along.
yeah. No, I'm looking through them. Um,
Probably Yukiko.
Really, that's tough.
Like I do like Yukiko, but I wish I liked Yukiko more than I do.
I guess.
hmm. I think I already say this in the first video, but looking
That was like 6 lifetimes
at
ago.
her here, yeah, looking at her here, I remember this immediately. I said it from the jump. It's oh god damn it, what's her name? It's the doctor. It's
Takemi,
the huh?
the Goth Doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah, Takemi.
Pokemon.
Yes,
Okay.
Takemi.
For me,
Yeah,
and this has been
Takemi.
my opinion since the beginning, it's always been Sumire. I really want to like them, but I just
Yeah.
there's just so much wrong with their actual inclusion in the story.
Mm,
Okay, so now let's do funniest character. Sorry, the best character from each game for you. Um,
oh.
I will
Well,
also.
obviously for me, P3 is still Aegis.
Yeah.
For P4, it's Chie, and P5 is Makoto. I think I mentioned all of them already. But
Yeah.
that's
For
them.
me, it's definitely Mitsuru. Probably. Oh Jesus, P4. Is it Chie or Yukiko? For me, it's one of them. But
I think even though I really like Saori, uh, I think I'll go with Yukai for P3 maybe.
okay.
But I do enjoy Saori more. Um, for P4, the best character. There is an argument that it could also be a Dachi, but I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah,
go
you
with
already said he was
Hisano.
your favorite character, so he should be your favorite character from P4.
No, I guess yeah, sure. And P5. Um, I guess it's Scalcom. Yeah, sure.
Mm.
Or maybe Caroline.
Yeah,
But yeah.
like I said before, for me it's Mitsuru and probably Chie overall, but I also really like Yukiko and Sophia. And if I get to count strikers separately, then it's probably probably Futaba. Even though I put Ryuji higher, I also just like I vibe the fuck with Futaba.
So Sophia and Zenkichi are both top tier for
I
me
do
as
like
well.
Zenkichi as
Yeah.
well. It's just he doesn't top the list for me. Um, any more arbitrary rankings I can think of?
Rank rank which characters would you want to would you want to punt to the moon?
Oh, it's Morgana.
Teddy.
Eh,
No, I've got that one. I've got that
I
one. From a purely standard, which is the best character?
what?
Oh, from like sexy,
From a
which is
purely like I
sexiest.
want to bone this character. Who wins? Complete silence.
Alice.
Fair enough.
Alice Hiragi.
And for me, it's like Boomer Dubstep. It's also Mitsuru.
Honestly. Fuck it. Junpei, call me Mr. Steal Your Girl.
It's Chidori. Yep.
I have a type. And I'm not apologetic about it. Just got Lolitas. Yes, please. Please. Yes.
I just imagine if there was like a questionnaire and on it has "What is your taste in woman?" and Junpei just writes Chidori.
Yes. Mood. Me and him, real.
Okay, but yeah, yeah, I guess that's all the rankings we can think of. Please post how wrong our opinions are and how much you want to roast us in the comments, because comment engagement.
Hey,
Oh.
didn't you want to put our personal tier lists on at the end?
Yeah, but I'll just do it in a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
I'm
figured
not
you'd
gonna.
say it or something.
I'm not gonna be able to make that happen because I can see my tier list. So yeah.
Right.
What?
Well,
Anyway.
we'll see about that. There might be if we've bothered to do that, that'll be on screen as we're talking right now. So yeah, either these are everyone's tier lists or they aren't. This has been great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Outros are even harder than intros, isn't it? So like and subscribe. Tell me how wrong my opinions are in the comments. Comment engagement is Pog. And you know, never stop
And
consuming our product.
And don't forget to burn by bread.
That too. Insert I guess toasted meme here. I'm gonna have like the end of the video be like pop.